afternoon. I never know where in the world we all might be, but I do see that we have now opened the doors and everybody is joining us. So as we join, please familiarize yourself with the platform we are on here today and find the chat box, because this is going to be a really interactive session. This is not going to be me presenting at you. It's really what I like to think of the Health Coaches Party of the Year. We're all just going to hang out. I hope you've all got tea. I've got my tea, massive matcha tea with me today. And in the upswing mug and all, look at the size of this. Like, it's huge. I'm going to be buzzing by the end of this call. But please, everyone, come in, introduce yourself, your name, where in the world you are. Let me know, are you a health coach? Are you starting out? And as we let everyone in, I will, in a moment, start to introduce our guests on our panel today. We have a couple of, one or two other ladies joining us soon. But for those who don't already know me, I do just want to give us a moment, because I can see when the flood of people still coming in, I know that the doors are still opening for everyone. Let's give it a second, but please, I can only see one person in the chat box, and there's a lot more of us here. So who have we got? Whoa, okay, here they come. And when it does that, I can't even read them all. Gillian, Beth, hello, Gwen, Karen. We've got some Australians, California, New York. Hey, these are all like my favorite places. And Barcelona. Last night I was just saying to my husband, should we go to Spain this year? My niece lives in Spain. She's so cute, and I don't get to see her. All right, Gold Coast. Yes, you win then, because you're on the Gold Coast with me. Munich. Oh my God, from all around the world. This is awesome. Please continue to introduce yourself, get to know each other. We are, hey, Jody. Another Brisbane. New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand does win. That's really where I'm from. That trumps all. Oh, this is so cool. I'm just going to tell you a little anecdote about New Zealand before we get started, because I can see people are still coming in. A lot of hype right now in the world about who's heard about the big blue supermoon that we're about to have. If anyone follows astrology, you know, it's going to be massive, and there's 2 moons in a month and all these things. Being from New Zealand, New Zealand is one of the first countries in the world, and time zone wise. And I did just read this morning that New Zealand actually, it is not the case, because it's actually already February. In fact, I think here in Australia, it's bang kind of on midnight, the eclipse. So interestingly, and one of the things I read about this was actually there can be a lot of hype, which is actually one of the energies not to buy into overhype, you know. So I thought that was funny. But one thing while we're just talking eclipses, while I welcome everyone in, is a random start to our chat today. This eclipse cycle is actually 6 months from the last one, which is really interesting for me, because that's when the last Upswing Mastermind started. And some of the ladies here today were in that group, and some others. And I find it really interesting, because this particular eclipse that we're in right now is around massive and sudden change into your path, into your true path. And for some of you here on the call, you may never have even thought that you were going to take your business seriously as a health coach. And all of a sudden, you know, everything's aligning. Literally, the stars are aligning, and you're like, hold on, I can do this. And maybe for some of you that might have come as quite a quick and sudden shock. I know for me, 6 months ago, it was actually when I decided to move state really, really quickly. Very quickly. So I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. I think that most of us are in the door now. So let's get started. And I love seeing where everyone is from around the world. Today, I have 4 beautiful health coaches with me on our health coaches panel, and one more will be joining us shortly. And we have Amanda Pickering, who is from the UK. Give us a wave, Amanda. I don't know if everyone's in the same order that I see you all. We have Stephanie Warner in Canada, and we have Julie Hamilton in Australia, and Oda from the UK as well. And we will have Emily joining us. She is in New Zealand, and she'll join us halfway through. So we can already see beautiful community of health coaches. I kind of randomly picked people from my community whose businesses are at varying levels, so that everybody can see what's happening in the health coaching world, and literally so we could see what's happening around the world. Because one of the biggest things that people tell me when they're considering becoming a health coach is, it won't work for me because of where I live or in my city. So hopefully just even seeing that we've got people here today from all around the world is going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, how today is going to work is I'm going to go around and interview each of these beautiful ladies on what's going on in their business, how they got started, how that journey has been for them. I promise you, I've briefed them before this and said, there's no sugarcoating, ladies. Like, we got to tell it how it is, right? That's exactly what I was saying to you. And then we're also going to share, the various places that they are in their businesses right now. And most of them, just like you, had not even started. They were sitting on a call similar to this either 6 months ago, 12 months ago, even 18 months ago, for some people here. So I wanted you to meet people. It's very easy to see online fancy photos, fancy web pages, and think people have got it all sorted out and that you could never do that. But one of the most beautiful things about my programs like Upswing Mastermind and my communities is understanding that we're all the same. We all have the same struggles. We're all like-minded and we all become friends. And I wanted everyone to experience that here today by getting to know these different health coaches around the world. So I'm going to start interviewing them shortly, but I don't want this to be just us like broadcasting at you. I want this to be interactive. So before we start, please, let's get in the chat box. What's the number one thing you're going to want me to ask these ladies today? This is for you. I'm putting this on for you. So what do you want to know? And ladies on the panel, can you actually see the chat box? Can you all? Are you good? I did turn that on, right? I would love you to keep an eye out on some of the questions that people are asking, because I will be able to ask you those, of course. And I'm just going to jot some down as I see them. But you might want to also bring those in, if I haven't asked that. So yeah, we're already getting things like, where did you study? What are your marketing techniques? What programs do you have? Best ways to get clients? How to find clients? Do you have a full-time or part-time job? Best places for workshops. How do you overcome your fear? What's your niche? Oh, this is juicy. You realize we could be here all day talking about all this awesome stuff. How do you figure out what your value is so you know what to charge? Oh, let's try get to that. I'd love someone to pencil that as something to talk about. Do you work with international clients? Ladies, jot down if there's anything that you think you'd like to talk to on any of these. Do you see clients on Skype or phone? Upsides and downsides of the jobs. There's upsides and downsides in everything for sure. Can you have a few niches? Where do you like to host your workshops? Do any of you have any personal health challenges when you were first starting out? That would be an awesome one. And Julie, you might be a really good one to talk to. That just comes to mind. I wish we had Jamie here. Jamie has a beautiful story about that too. Yep. Okay. Yep. We use Skype. All the questions. Okay. Keep the questions coming. And as I'm interviewing individuals, feel free to ask specific questions. There are team members of mine on here today. So Yoli, if you see, my chat box went blank and it did that the other day. Hopefully it just comes back. If you see anything particular, Yoli, that you think that I should be answering or for a particular person, can you use the chat box function that sends a message just to me and it will highlight it for me? Okay, keep your questions rolling. Where are we going to start? Roll the dice. We've got no idea where to start. Why don't we start with Julie, seem as I identified one thing there. Are you all right with that, Julie? I know your son's with us today. Is now a good time to talk?
Yeah, of course. I'm also like dog minding, so if you see a dog kind of like across my screen, it's you're not seeing things. I do actually have a dog in my place at the moment.
Okay, and a son on your lap.
Yeah.
Angus, it's so cool to have him here. Aww. And I just love this because for anyone who's going to join the mastermind, I mean, this is how our community rocks. I think, Stephanie, you had 2 kids on your lap the other day on our call. Like we all have busy lives, and Amanda, obviously your dog's around too. We've all got things going on. And I think it's one of the first things that people are fearful of starting to build their business because they think they won't have enough time or, juggle things in that way. Julie, why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling me when did you start your health coaching business?
Okay, so hey everyone, I'm Julia and I am based in Bondi in Sydney. So I started my coaching, I did IIN initially 2014, 2015, and then I also took a career break from just in 2014 onwards. I've always wanted to be a health coach because I think it's just something that when something is just within you, like it's in your bone, like you just know it's something that you have to do. But having, like IIN was great, but it didn't really, I guess it was missing, like there's like missing pieces, bits here and there. Sorry, can you just say 1 minute?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so then I saw, for some reason, I was just on the internet one day and I saw your course. And I just knew straight away I had to do it. And that was like 18 months ago. But it was just really funny because once I made up my mind, this is what I'm going to do, and then things just started to unravel as well, because I'm not sure whether you remembered, I think the moment the course started back then I actually filed for separation and everything just kind of like snowballed from there.
Yeah. So you're saying that really making a decision in the first place actually kind of got things snowballing. Yeah, which I think everyone on this call would probably agree. One of the scariest things is getting mentoring, reaching out. And I forgot to say that all of the women that we'll be talking to today are all graduates of my Upswing Mastermind program. So I've been their coach, in their 6-month journey, and sometimes beyond. So yeah, you're saying that decision was really what got things snowballing in itself. And would you say that's because it's actually a belief in yourself? Like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to back myself and do this?
Yeah, and it was just the way you set up the whole group as well, because everyone, we were always there for each other, and like even though we were only sort of like meeting like once a week and stuff, but the Facebook group was there, and then we're supporting one another. So even though on the one hand, obviously going through separation wasn't an easy thing, but then on the other side, I felt as if I had like a bunch of ladies who were just looking after me, and that is basically what kept me going. And then to top it up, like I was actually doing something, I was working towards something, like becoming something like a coach, like having it as a business, creating something. And that's to me it's amazing. I mean, I look back at like the stuff that's kind of happened over the past 18 months, and I can't believe like I'm here now, and it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah. So tell us, because you've been through a few iterations, and this is something that I think people don't realize. They come into my programs and they're worried about finding the perfect niche and the perfect business, and they don't feel expert enough, and they kind of get locked up. And what we encourage in the Upswing Mastermind is absolutely the understanding of how to choose a niche, how to choose a target market, creating your first package, how to price that, and starting to get some clients, knowing that that might change. And we've got to be okay knowing that that might change. You need to learn, the business pieces, which the health coaching schools don't teach. So, what was your experience, if you can rewind to when you first started the mastermind, in actually receiving that business training? How was that for you? Did you already know those things, or was there actually a lot to learn that maybe you didn't even know about?
Yeah, like there's a lot of, I guess what we call it like back end stuff that we weren't really, like we kind of sort of covered it, but then it wasn't up to the level that we needed in order to be able to be comfortable in running a business. So like there's a lot of stuff that I was just sitting there going, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I have to do that in order to achieve this. Even a simple things is like organizing your mailing lists, like your MailChimp and stuff. Like it's just something that I wouldn't have known if I didn't do your course, if you know what I mean, like, and how to sort of use Facebook to advantage, and if you have an Instagram, how to use that to an advantage, and what kind of, even like setting up your web page into positions as to, like what attracts people, like what they want to see, because at the end of the day, that's the whole package, and you need to know that. You can't just sort of like put everything on the screen and then kind of like hope that everything's going to work. There's a formula. So and that's what I found really helped me.
So what I'm hearing, and I'm also trying to weave in questions as they come, from the chat box, so guys, keep them coming. For those who don't know, the approach that I have to mentoring health coaches is a 3-part approach. One track of that is business training. And the business training is for 6 months, like weekly for 6 months. There's a lot more to learn. Like some of the business health coaching schools touch on it, but there's so much more to learn. So we have that track going on. And this is where Julie's saying, you know, it goes through everything from identifying your target market, your packages, how to price them, how to find clients. I mean, gosh, we teach, 30, 40 something ways to get clients, and an accountability challenge. But then we also move on to the systems. How do you take bookings? How do you set up your contracts? How do you then start to build a newsletter list, do your social media, host things like these workshops, you know, online? And so there's a lot of kind of systems and technology based thing as well. And that's all in your business curriculum, what I call like track 1. Track 2 is the masterminding group. And all the women that you will be able to, as Julie alluded to, who had her back the whole way, that she could come in. You know, most of us women, I'm curious actually, is anyone willing to admit this? I've noticed that it can be very lonely as an entrepreneur. Does anyone else feel that way? Everyone on here feels that way. I feel that way a lot. And and so one of the biggest healing pieces, everyone's like, you know, my email recently on entrepreneur loneliness is one of the highest open rates that we get. Like everyone's like into it, which just shows why as women we need community. As women, we are supposed to support each other. And I'm sure everyone here will agree, like there's never an ounce of competition in these groups. It is all absolutely, we've got each other's back, we're cheering each other on, we're giving, you know, feedback and love. And having that masterminding group 24/7 for 6 months, and myself and my team coaches there to give feedback, is just, I don't even know. In fact, side story for another day, how much I paid recently to be in a Facebook group just to keep that. If you don't have those people around you, examples of people who are doing it on a day-to-day basis and people to ask, it's really, really hard, even if you've got the training. And then the third layer, because I see Julie talking about some of these pieces and others, you know, might not understand my approach. The third layer is live calls just like this, where the whole group is on video, and I actually coach you personally, mentor you personally, but you all get to learn from my coaching as well and from each other's coaching. So, you know, I saw there were some questions about, do you get coaching and do you get mentoring in your business? Those are the 3 layers that we work through in my programs and that Julie is referring to as well. So Julie, I want to know in particular, because there's so much I could ask you about, but somebody asked, you know, was your health already perfect when you started coaching and getting your first clients? Can you share how you worked through that?
Yeah, absolutely not. It actually went downhill last year, I think, if you may recall. So 2016, it was all right. And then I started to feel really unwell at the beginning of last year. And blood test after blood test, couldn't figure out what was wrong. I think it took like about 7 months to finally realize that I have like a severe adrenal fatigue and hypothyroidism. So I struggled with my health, and it did affect the way I felt about being a health coach, because there was a pressure coming from within. It was like, oh, I'm a health coach, I should be like 100%, and I've got to like supposed to be like really shiny and happy all the time, and I feel really crap. But it wasn't for, you know, but then I think you guys just kind of like, you know what, you're perfect the way you are, just go along with it, you're just going through a period. And it really helped, because it's hard being a health coach, because I think people do put you up on a pedestal, looking at you as, you know, like you know what I mean? Like as a health coach, I think people see you as the, I don't know, someone who's like a high up there, and it did like put pressure on myself as a coach, and also in my confidence, whether I was actually, you know, like, was I a good one because I was sick?
It's such a delicate topic. And I mean, you're not the only one. I think everybody, most of us got into health coaching because of our own health journey. Of some degree, or family members or someone around, and myself included. My adrenal fatigue did get worse when I started coaching, and I'll tell you why. Because I was running around like a headless chicken, 24/7, 365 days a year, 365 days a week, 365 days a month, 365 days a year, 365 days a year, 365 days a month, 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 365 days a trying to get like any free training, trying to work out how to get clients, actually spinning because I didn't believe in myself. I was charging way too low. I was burning out on the clients I had, and I had no support. That's why my adrenal fatigue got worse when I first started coaching. And at that time, I felt like a fraud as well. And I know that a lot of people feel like frauds, but these are the kind of conversations, and I could talk on this for the next half hour and I won't. But these are the kind of conversations that we have in our community in the laser coaching calls. And we're going to probably 90% of the time get really clear that actually what's going on in your health right now has nothing to do with the person you're going to help. Because as a health coach, we are not meant to be doctors. We are not meant to be diagnosing. We are not meant to be perfect. And in this community, we get very, very clean and clear on what a coach is. Around accountability, around helping someone find their own truth, around helping someone navigate what they've been prescribed, maybe helping them navigate different food options for dietary pieces. You know, we are not doctors. And when we take that off, that cape, that heavy like armor of such off, and stop trying to be doctors and stop trying to be something we're not, then we can coach. And you do not need to be perfect to coach. You do not go to your doctors today and ask them, well, have you healed from this? You do not go to any other professional and ask them, have you healed from this? And there is, of course, a line of integrity. And in some instances, and at times, you know, I know, Julie, when you went through a stage, we said, well, why don't you actually focus on the training for a while and pull back from coaching just to get your health a little bit back on. Now, I'm going to say this how it is, ladies. Sometimes it's that BS pressure that we put on ourselves to try be something we're not that is actually burning us out. I'm not coaching you, Julie, right now, but I know you're like, the reminders. But ladies, these are the things that are burning us out.
Yeah.
And often it's not our diets. It's our beating ourselves up that we're not perfect enough, we're not good enough, and trying to be something we're not. We are health coaches. And many of you will be learning those lessons so that you can pass them on to your clients. And Julie, I know you've been through a massive learning in that way of finally being you.
Yeah, definitely. It took a while, but I got there.
And once you were you, and we won't go into the whole story, but once you kind of let go of trying to be all these other things and you really came into alignment, which is really a lot of what my work is about with us. Once you found you and got into alignment, what did you discover as far as getting clients and putting your work out there?
It was, it was just a whole lot easier. Like, before, like I used to really struggle just even writing a blog or like a newsletter, or even taking photos put on my Instagram. And I remember like listening like in one of our classes, and and you were saying you can actually get like all the blogs done in like an hour, and I was like, how can you do that? Like it will take me like days to even like write like one nice paragraph. But then you're right. Like once everything clicked and I realized that I'm actually aligned now, everything just kind of everything became a lot easier. So as you know, I'm kind of like have two businesses that I run now. So one is the coaching and the other one is the spiritual side, and I'm getting consistent clients on my spiritual side as well. On the coaching, I'm getting more traction in terms of people just kind of like querying what I'm doing, and stuff, and the same with my Instagram account. It's a lot easier for me to write blogs and getting newsletters out. So it's a lot easier because it comes from your heart and you're doing it with love. And I think that's the biggest difference with when you're aligned and when you're not aligned.
Thank you for sharing that. And for everyone, who I'm introducing to this 3-track approach, this is why I very, very rarely sell any business training that's not live. I don't believe that e-courses work. We need the business training, but we need to tap away at these confidence pieces as women, and we need to actually come in and step into our empowerment. And sometimes that means a community of women, a good mentor and coach to guide us through that. And then the business tools, absolutely. are needed and are gonna, flow you forward. So thank you so much, Julie, for sharing that. Is there anything that you feel you remember what it was like when you were considering stepping up into your business and maybe investing in a mentor, or you obviously invested in this program? What is the one piece of advice you'd like to give for women who are umming and ahhing? Can I do this? Is this for me? What would you share?
Follow your gut, follow your gut instinct. I think if you have that thing, if you, I think you'll know when something is the right one for you. Is you can feel it. And to me, with a course like this, you just have to be I found the way when I joined, I had this kind of curiosity, kind of what is this going to bring me? What doors is going to open for me? And so I think that's probably what I would suggest for the ladies, to trust your instinct, trust your instinct. If you feel that is actually the right course for you, then go for it. And always have that curiosity in you to learn, because you can't grow if you don't learn. And every day is a learning process. So.
Beautiful. Julie, thank you for sharing. I know you got to get back to dogs and kids and all great things, but we're celebrating you and your journey so far, and thank you so much. If anybody has direct questions for Julie, if she has time, she'll keep an eye on the chat box. But Julie, if you do need to go, we totally understand.
All right. I'll just stop my video, but I'll turn on the
Great.
Great. Thank you. Cheers.
There was one question that caught my eye as we were going down around whether the business training track has templates, scripts, workbooks, etc. We give it all to you. We have script packs for emails, social media. We have over 30 everything is in there. We give you templates. We have new templates actually in there now for your programs and your packages that you can learn from. We also continually update the resources every single round for our mastermind programs. And all of that is in there for sure. A very thorough program. For those, I also saw a question. This will be the 9th time that we run the Upswing Mastermind when it starts again soon. It is a very, very thorough, research grounded course. I've taken hundreds of women through the process, and every single time we redo it based on what is happening right here, right now. So, the women you're even seeing on the call, the hundreds others, many of who I know are in the chat as well today, it's what's working for them. And I keep refining the program, what's working in my business, what's working for them. This isn't like the business training that you would get from your health coaching school that was put in a curriculum 10 years ago. It's very, very different. It's very live. I'm invested heavily at all times in my own mentoring, my own training, so that I can pass that on to all of you. And that is continually reflected and updated in every single round. Hey, Emily. We'll come to you soon. Emily's here. She's in New Zealand. Who are we going to go to next? I think we're going to go to Oda next. I think, yeah. So, hey, Oda.
Hey.
Hey, how are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Now, of all the questions, was there anything in the chat so far that you've seen people putting questions in, you're like, I've got to answer that?
Yeah, there's been a couple actually. Niche, how do I get clients, marketing techniques. That's kind of I saw a few of those. I can speak to niche because when I started the Upswing Mastermind a year ago, I can't believe it's a year.
So this time last January, you were sitting here. Hold on, let's pause. How was that feeling? So same time last year. Where were you in your life at that time? And how was that decision process for you in joining the mastermind? Because it's a big one. How was that for you?
I had the same thing as Julie. I knew as soon as I saw the program offer that it was something that I had to do and that I would somehow find the resources. At the same time, though, I have to say, even though I instinctually knew it, my mind was coming in and going, where's money going to come from? And, how am I going to get clients? Is this going to work for me? Is this just going to be like another business training that I don't do? Like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just want to pause on that for a second. Because everyone that we're talking to now, a woman who had to face that fear and had to get to the other side of that. and have taken action and reaped rewards and can still remember the fear, by the way. But it's very easy to sit here 6 months later, 12 months later and say, I always knew. And I just pause and reflect that to anyone. I mean, some of you may never have heard about my program. I will share that at the very end of the call for anyone who hasn't, others who are looking at it. You probably aren't in a place right this second where you're like, yeah, I know. I think it's easy to look back and go, oh, I always knew. But in the moment, there is that knowing if you're really quiet and calm down the mind and, all of that. But in the moment, the monkey mind is going crazy. It's like you want to leap out of the plane and it's going to be awesome, but you don't want to jump. What if you get hurt? What if blah, 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 blah. Like the risk is so scary for some of us. And we can so many people might be there now. And if we did pause and just take a deep breath and say, monkey mind, let's just put you over here. That knowing probably is there if the program is for you too. But I want to reflect how easy it is to say in 6 months later, like, I always knew. But at the time, it doesn't feel that way. And even just because you know doesn't mean that right that second you feel you've got the money, you feel your husband's going to support you, you maybe this won't work for me, maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's not the right time in my life. Like the monkey mind will come up with any excuse to try kind of hold you back from stepping into your power. And that's the truth. So Oda, why did you choose to do the program? What was it that, why? Why did you choose to do it? Obviously, it's an investment, time, energy, and money to do so. Why did you say yes to yourself?
I resonated with you. I resonated with the fact that I would be part of a sisterhood of women who would celebrate my wins and really keep the momentum going in that energetic sense. And from looking at the curriculum, it was just so all-encompassing. It was just also all-inclusive, if you know what I mean, like covering every single thing that I felt like my education from the IIN had touched on but hadn't really dove deep enough into. I felt like, as I had just graduated from the IIN literally 2 weeks before.
Oh, great, because I saw some people asking about IIN graduates,
and I loved it. It's great. It gives you so much information and it's truly a transformative course. But in terms of the business side of things, it wasn't enough. And I didn't have the confidence at the time to really, I didn't really know what to do. And I didn't really have that confidence to put myself out there. So I knew this was a way for me to really boost that confidence.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, and I can see a question there, is it only women? This program is open to anybody and everybody. And we have welcomed one single man into the program in the whole time we've run it. Our brother Joe was very welcome. He's still in the program with us today. I know, Joe is awesome. Any men are absolutely welcome to talk to me about joining. The program is by application. So yeah, we will absolutely, explore that together if you are interested. And I'll give you details of that after. I want this to be as high value for everybody, regardless of program. I want the learnings to be out in our community. So anyone who wants to hear about the program, I'll let you know that near the end. So probably in about 15 minutes time, 20 minutes time. So let's then tell me, Oda, a little bit about finding a niche and how you have worked with that to get clients.
Yeah, okay. So that was one of the big things for me because I'd worked with a business coach before, which was a 3-month program, and it was, I was still doing my IN. I was massively overwhelmed. Similar story to you and Julie. I burnt out completely, ended up with what I think was adrenal fatigue, but no doctor would diagnose it. Yeah. And so I was still trying to do free trainings and figure it out on my own. And it was actually within about 3 weeks working into the mastermind. In that first month, I really nailed it. And that brought me a lot of confidence.
So you'd worked with a one-on-one business coach before and still hadn't been able to get that experience. I don't know about anyone else on this call, but I know a lot of clients come to me saying that that they'd tried one-on-one. I think everyone's pretty much nodding that they'd either tried one-on-one coaching or a more generic business training before this, and spent, and still had got nowhere. And I would reflect that and tell me if I'm wrong, because this business is so specific for health coaches. This training is so specific for health coaches. And there are some absolute nuances that so many people tell me, I've already got my target market, I've already got my niche. And I almost call BS on almost everyone who says that. And I'm like, tell me then what it is. And if you don't nail this piece, ladies, if you just think, I work with busy mums who have a corporate job and are tired, like, you're not going to be able to craft an effective marketing message, an effective package that will actually sell. So niche and target market is the pivotal piece to get right. And we cover that in the first couple of weeks of the mastermind. But I'm just so glad that you mentioned that, because I hear so many other people, not that there's other great programs and coaches out in the world, of course, but to nail this for health coaching is very, very specific. And to hear that you cracked that in the first couple of weeks of the program is gold. Yeah. So what unfolded from there? Did you start getting clients? How did things change in your confidence? Give us a little bit of a summation of your journey.
Yeah, okay. So I then developed a package according to who I was speaking to, who it was, it changed as well as I dove deeper into what really resonated with me as well, who I wanted to work with. I knew who I could serve, but it was also very much about who I really was called to work with. Developed a package. And really, when I put those two pieces together, my partner's going to come in. I thought, Alex,
I'm going to talk for a second. I'm just going to fill in for a second because I'm always wanting to teach and share. Let's talk about a target market. I saw someone say they don't want to limit themselves by choosing a target market. And we all feel that way. And I just want to say, I read this quote in a book just last night. If you had needed heart surgery, would you go to your local GP to do that heart surgery? You want a specialist. Specialists are respected. Specialists, people can identify, oh, that's me, I need that. This is beyond my training for today, everyone, but one of the key things I teach is nobody buys health coaching. Nobody. You go do your Google Analytics on the word health coaching. The only people who look up health coaching are people who want to go to health coach school. Nobody goes, oh, I think I need a health coach. What is that? What is even a health coach? Come on. People buy a solution to their pain. And that is where we need to start with the niche work. And that is why we need to be very specific. Now, what I want to promise you is you are like a magnet. When you're really specific on this is what I do, you're laser focused and you become like a magnet. And what that means is you will attract people. And those people might not be that target market. That's a little bit of the secret. I'm very targeted for health coaches. This training is specific for health coaches, but we have doctors join us. We have naturopaths join us. We have yoga teachers, personal trainers, life coaches, Reiki healers, mindfulness, pending an application and interview and, that we feel the program is right. The more specific you are like a laser focused magnet. If you're a wishy-washy, just no one even knows what you do. So again, this is why we need to nail target market to get messaging that connects with people. All right, teaching over. Sorry, we'll be here all day if I keep doing that.
Sorry, disturbance over. In terms of going out there and getting clients, and I just saw a question pop up actually. What programs, platforms do you use to develop your package? You can literally do it with pen and paper.
Yes, thank you.
It's just about planning it out and getting really, really clear in your own mind. And it's not so that when you have a discovery call, for example, you're like listing, what you're going to do week by week by week. It's very much more about focusing in on what are their pain points and how can you help them? What are the benefits of your package and making that really clear.
And this is, by the way, what we do in module 1 of the mastermind. Give you the sheets to go through that pen and paper. One of the biggest myths is that you need a website, branding, logo, flyers. See? No website. And no one even probably goes to my website. Plenty of people on this call today, I bet probably at least half of you, probably 90% of you have never been to my website. websites, no one's going to know it's there anyway if you don't know how to get out there and be seen and be visible. And we often, it's in another training, I don't have it here today, but I look at the cost of people like myself, because it was me, who spend 6 months trying to make a website, trying to make pretty logos, trying to get everything perfect before actually getting clients and, you know, getting this work. You're just leaving money on the table. You're not helping anyone. It's just all like trying to get perfect in yourself first. And the website gets done and the logos get done. I'm not lying. My business cards for my health coaching business are still in that cabinet right there. I never use them. You don't. So yeah, we need to get out there and start serving people. So, okay, a little bit all over the place, but what other, I'm like, I want to teach everything. I want everyone to just have everything from my head and have it. So yeah, this is everything that we teach in the program, right? Like how to do this. So Oda, what was your experience maybe then of those business trainings? Because I think people are trying to understand specifics. So how did you find the business training aspect?
I loved it. It was quite easy to keep up with, and anything that I missed, it was just there in the vault so that I could go back to it. It was really helpful as a platform to have all the videos there, just collecting if you wanted to go back to check through anything. But it's, what is it, like a 45-minute to an hour-ish each
They're about 45 minutes, and I've actually culled back the content even more since you're around and simplified it. So yeah, it's about 45 minutes of training a week.
Yeah, and it's really helpful content, really good content, and then the workbooks just help to cement that. So and all the calls as well are recorded and put in the same platform, so it's just really easy. It's super easy, and it makes the whole experience just a lot more enjoyable, because you know, you're not having to faff around trying to find things. It's all there. So yeah, that was my experience.
Excellent. So I feel like there's just so many things, and I know there's other ladies to get around. What is one thing that you would like to share, either a real personal win that you've had in your business so far? I don't mind if that's like, you know, what you're now charging for programs from when you were at the beginning, maybe, if you feel to share that, or clients you're working with, or are you doing this full time? I don't know. Like, what's something that you feel to share as a personal win that, you know, others might be interested in?
Okay, two top ones are, my confidence is just like boom. It's become so lovely to not feel afraid of being seen, if that makes sense. So that's a big win for me on a personal level. And in terms of my prices, I think that goes along with it, really. In the beginning, I was unsure. I would have done it for free. I did do it for free a couple of times just to get experience. I did undercharge, I guess, in the beginning, but we go through an exercise, don't we, where we really feel into what pricing feels good, because if it doesn't feel good, then you're not going to have people aligning with it. So
yeah, if you don't believe in your pricing, everyone, and you're not confident on your pricing, you know, I will share models. We work towards a 5K a month model in the mastermind. Some ladies, you know, do even beyond that, and we'll share some stories of that. But I would much rather you charge less. I mean, we've got to find, this is why I need to work with you personally on video, etc. We've got to find what's your pricing, what you believe in, where you're at today, because that will resonate and that will match. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in your prices, you're never going to sell anything. So do you remember what you were charging 12 months ago when you started? Was it free?
12 months ago? No, before I came on the course, I kind of did a couple of free ones, but so 12 months ago, I was doing 500, and then that went up to 800. I creeped my way up to 850 and 900. Yeah. And now it's up to 1250.
Yeah. So this is for like a 12-week package?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. 1,250 pounds.
Yeah. Pounds sterling.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that gives a little bit more of an insight. And do you want to give us an example of one way that you got a client that wasn't a family or friend member, is a question that someone asked.
So I love doing meetups. Obviously you'll find your ways that really resonate with you, but when you meet someone in person, you're really accelerating the know, like, and trust factor that you know, we talk about quite a lot. And it's great as well to have a bunch of women who are all there for you know, really wanting to learn about wellness, and to get to know them and then to be able to reach out to them. You can also send newsletters, I guess, through Meetup as well. So you have regular contact with them and they get to know you really well. So Meetups have been a really big one for me.
Wonderful. And Meetups is just one, like I said, we teach over 30 different ways, and we actually do a 30-day challenge in the mastermind, which literally gives you a different thing to try for 30 days. And you start to discover which ones are matching your personality. This is not a course about who can grow the most followers on Instagram and Facebook and, you know, have funnels and Facebook ads. Like, that's more advanced and that comes. But in the early days, like I said, you don't even need a website. You really don't. And cat's distracting me, so cute. Yeah, you really, you know, don't. Of course, though, don't get me wrong. I saw someone say, well, how could I possibly do that without a flyer or something? Yeah, that'll come. You know, in the second part of the course, absolutely. But where in the focus in this course is to get your clients some money before you're doing that. So you're not having to be out of pocket. So you're actually building your confidence and knowing what you're doing. There's nothing worse than spending thousands on a website or making flyers and you didn't even really know what you were talking about, or you just wrote I'm a health coach on your business card. Like, you'll be redoing that in a few months anyway. So thank you. Any key piece of advice? Remember what it was like, how scary it is when you're like, can I do this? Should I do this? Could I really be a health coach? What would you say to your younger you 6-12 months from now, when you were sitting probably on a call like this going, could I? What would you like to say as advice?
Ooh, from sitting where I am now, I think I'm going to use your words actually, Amanda. What you desire is meant for you. So if you have that spark and you really, on a deep level, feel that health coaching is something that you want to do, that you know that you have the ability to help people, to heal people, to follow that intuition and to let the chatterbox do its thing and, you know, let the fears roll over you, because the fears aren't going to stop. It's just that you learn to bounce back from them and you get to observe them and then choose something different. So just listening to that spark, that yes, I would say, and getting still enough to do so. So finding pockets of time when you can get still and really feel into, is this right for me?
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. There's so much more I want to ask you and share with the world. But if anyone has specific questions for Oda, pop them in the chat box and we will move on. I think I'm going to go to Stephanie next. Surprise. I got no plan on this call. Can you unmute yourself, Stephanie?
There we go.
All right. Hi. Stephanie, there's a lot of questions coming in around client numbers. Can we have facts and figures of how many clients you've got and how many pricings and all this kind of thing? So I think I might go there with you.
Sure.
But like everybody, I would like to start in the grounded reality. So you only joined the Upswing Mastermind 6 months ago, August. Yeah,
so I'm just finishing. And
just finishing last week. I know. We just had our last call and it was very, very sad. So tell me then, 6 months ago, give us a little snippet into who you are, what's going on in life, and what brought you to start considering joining the Upswing Mastermind.
Yeah, so I did my nutrition training through the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. So very different from a lot of the women who did IIN. So my training is actually in holistic nutrition. And it was I'm sure a lot of the stuff crosses over, but I got a lot of information about nutrients and what they do and how they impact our body, rather than how to actually showcase that to people in a way that is meaningful and makes sense to them. So I had no bridge to help people understand what it was that I was trying to tell them. So 6 months ago when I joined, I had not really stepped into coaching at all yet. I have a background in social work. So I've been a social worker for 10 years. And I had this idea that I really wanted to bridge the gap between food and emotions, because in my own experience, in my own health journey, that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, well, I can't be the only person that feels this way. The emotions have to be be considered, right? And I had no way to get out what I was thinking to people. And so I had been doing a lot of meal planning, customized meal planning for people. But I knew that I could do so much more if I combined them and actually showed people that there was more, that their habits and patterns were sort of grounded in their mindset. And anyway, so I had no idea how to get clients. I just was using the base of my mom's groups in my community, and that was okay.
Yeah.
I had people who were doing, 4, 8, 12-week custom meal plans, but there was nothing more than, here's your meal plan. If you need help, let me know. So I think I had followed you for quite a while. And then I did the purposeful packages training that you put out, and I started putting ideas together and started working on that. And then I watched this exact video with the health coaches from last year, and I was like, I just got to do it. So, except then my fear came over, and I was in a very fearful place because it was an investment, and I didn't really have any money. I wasn't really making any income at the time. I think in my best month at that point, I had been making maybe $1,000 at most. And so yeah, that was sort of the process for me.
Yeah, great. So literally, sorry, I got to stop looking at chat box because I get, I'm going to actually kind of encourage everyone. I'm just going to pause on this because I want you to have access to the ladies in the chat, but also what I can see starting to happen is everyone's getting excited and having like detailed conversations. When I start to see numbers and people trying to break down and what does that amount to and everything, I think we're getting a little bit too detailed for today, and we can continue those kind of conversations on Healthy Wealthy Society after this. But I just realize I'm very sensitive to energy, and I realize once that starts happening that our focus goes from the speaker, and having the gift of having the ladies here on video today is something that money can't buy. I wish that I had that. So I'm actually going to just keep an eye on that with the chat. We can ask some simple questions. You did nothing wrong. I encouraged that, but I'm just feeling the energy as we're going into it. So let's move those to the group afterwards. And for the ladies who have taken their time to be here, let's stay really present with their stories, because you will learn so much just from experiencing another woman's journey on video. So, okay. So you were clearly, wanting to do this and not making a lot of money, and got all excited watching videos and doing my trainings and everything. And then when it really came to it, the fear came over. And, I remember talking to you and it was like, I'm going to do this. And then, I give one interview application myself, or my team member, someone will interview you for this process. And I happened to interview Stephanie, and at first I was like, this is great. And then the fear was so heavy. I never do this, but we ended up having 3 discovery calls. And to be honest, I think you were getting more fearful each time. I was like, all right, well, you got to have your own journey. What was that like for you? Because I know it wasn't your own fear, but it was also your husband's fear, right?
Yeah. So, that was a big part of it because, I have 3 small kids, and, I was working one overnight a week in my job as a social worker. And so my husband was the primary income. So to say, I'm going to spend all this money on this program, with no real tangible, results that I could give him was really difficult. And, I don't think it's so much, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on this and to look back. I don't think it was so much that he didn't support me and what I was doing. He just has a very different mindset than me. And it was for him about protecting me, protecting us, protecting, our kids, our saving, our, family unit. And so the fear was so intense. Like, I think I was like, felt sick to my stomach. I knew that the spark was there. I knew that I had this idea and I needed to get this information out there to the world. But I couldn't I was on the cusp of the leap, and I just couldn't let go. And it like took over my whole body. And then, you know, after the call, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I'd go and talk to my husband, and he'd like, are you crazy? And then I'd like sleep on it. And then I'd go back and I'd be like, okay, Amanda, can we talk again?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I'd have less resolve. And then but then I just had to eventually just say, you know what, I need to do this, because I knew I needed this support, because I didn't, like a lot of the other ladies have said, you know, a lot of people I think get a little bit of business training with IIN or other programs. We got zero, nothing. There was no information. And like someone else had said, I had worked with a one-on-one coach before, and she was absolutely instrumental in helping me develop my idea. But I know for me, the power of a group was phenomenal, and having other people that you can lean into. And anybody that was in my group can attest to the fact that I had a lot of really deep personal, emotional struggles in that group. But everybody was there for me, and I took the leap and I let go, and they caught me and they brought me back up. And that is something that money can't buy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and even like, no need to go into all the details, but, you know, there was reasons for you feeling fearful. You did have debt.
Absolutely.
You know, you had student loan debts and all those kind of things behind you, and, you know, husband not supporting, all those things, you know. So, okay, that's where you were. Now, people are dying to know from everyone. So we'll start going in with the next few people, maybe how many clients, how much money you're making, you know, all those things. I want everyone to know that those are not the most important things. It's your confidence. It's your clarity. It's that you know your package. Some people choose, you know, to work with a smaller amount of people part-time, all these kind of things. Because everyone's dying to know. Stephanie, start giving us now an unfolding of kind of how this started looking for you, money-wise, client-wise, in the coming months. Bearing in mind, it's only 5.5 months since Stephanie was sitting on a call like this. Yeah.
So I said yes, and I told my husband, and it was, all right, well, I guess we're in it now. And so I started doing the work, and I went at it. I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it like it's my job. And
Stop. I've been telling everyone this. I remember you saying that on the first call, and I want everybody to take that. This isn't a hobby, guys. This isn't like some get rich quick scheme. Like, oh, I'm going to be a health coach, and I'm just going to buy a business training program, and I'm going to be a millionaire. Like, no, it is a job. It is a very gifted job. It is a very gifted job that you have been given, I think, to be like a custodian of this really important work. You still have to show up. And Stephanie, like, you got what, 2 twin boys who are 2 and another boy who's
3.5.
3. Okay. So let's not buy into stories of, but I've got kids at home, I've got no time. Sure, we're all busy, and you don't need to put a lot of time, but you do need to do the work. And that mindset alone of, I'm going to treat this like my job, instead of like, oh, it's just a hobby, or, you know, like, treat it seriously, treat it with respect, because this work is meant to, you know, get out to the world. So Stephanie, not a lot of time, kids at home, you know, like a lot going on. Tell us about the journey once you started to step forward into doing the work.
The journey really unfolded in a really beautiful way for me, because I had all this fear, but I went to work at it anyway. And I listened to the trainings, and I re-listened to them. And every time I got something new from it, and I started doing the work, and I started writing things down, and I started putting myself out there, and I started asking people to be there for me and to support me. And this really beautiful thing happened, is not just the mastermind sisters came around me and helped me and supported me, but my friends and my family, and everybody started to see that this is what was lighting me up. This is where my passion was. And for so long, I've been in a helping profession, but I never quite felt like I fit until I stepped into doing this work and finding what it was that I really truly wanted to help people with. And so I started putting myself out there. I started, you know, building this package, and people started coming to me, and people started saying, hey, I'm interested. What are you doing? And my things started to grow and grow and grow. And I started with my program being only $500. And then I slowly started creeping it up, and, you know, women were going through, and, you know, the first group of women sort of had a lot of success, and they referred, and then they're like, you know, I even had one client say, well, I would have paid more for that, you know, and that started really building my confidence, and people were saying, this is so great and so helpful. And I slowly started putting my price up over time. And now it's, you know, it went from 500 to 750 to 800. It's really similar to Oda, actually. And now I'm at 1,250. And so, but now I run a group, and I run one-on-one coaching, but I have 19 active clients.
Great.
And so that went from, you know, a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 people that I was just doing meal plans for, to, you know, I have 2 working days and 2 evenings a week that I use for coaching time. And that's it. So my time is absolutely full, to the point where now I need help, and I've had to hire an assistant.
Just hired your first assistant. It's really exciting. I often find that mums with small kids are actually the most efficient working through my program. And I don't know about you, Stephanie, I've never asked you this, but other mums have said to me, well, because I'm not mucking around, I just follow the formula. I trust you. I follow the books. I follow the step-by-step plan, and that's all I do. I don't spend hours on Facebook. I don't like muck around. I just do the work. And the formula works if you do the work, right?
It really does. And I just, like, when I make time to do my business, that's what I'm doing. Right. And so sometimes it's a very limited amount of time, but that means that I have X, Y, and Z that I need to get done. And I know that X, Y, and Z take this long. And so scheduling and time management has been my best friend, because, you know, I'm home, I'm working from home with my kids running around, but it's still essential that I'm their parent and that I'm still there for them. Right. And this has given me the ability to be in both worlds, because I want to be in both worlds.
Yeah. And so many women come to me and tell me, like, they feel like they've lost themselves as a mom, they've lost their own identity. And I often find that the Upstream Mastermind is like a reclaiming of ourselves, reclaiming of who we are as women, stepping into us again. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. In fact, I'm curious. So you've got 19 active clients right now, and I know that you just had to stop selling because, you've kind of hit that point. But are you open to sharing with us how that looks financially? Because it's not, to me, ever about the money in the bank. It's what that's doing for you, your husband, your family, what that's meaning. Are you able to share some of that with us? I know everyone loves to know numbers.
Yeah. So, you know, I started this program, you know, with student debt. And through that, from coaching alone, I've actually just hit $25,000 from coaching in the period of the program. And then through working through, you know, the mindset pieces, we
do a lot of wealth consciousness work. We haven't talked about that much today, but a lot of inner work on opening to money. So carry on.
So understanding a lot of the inner work and my fears around money and what value and placement money held in my life, understanding that, leaning into it, acknowledging it, and moving forward and letting myself actually receive. I've also, you know, whether you want to call it manifested or been gifted or through other means, I'm almost completely debt free now, you know, aside from.
And I don't, you know, we don't need specifics, but we're talking roughly another 20 to 30K again. Like in 5-6 months.
Like a significant amount. So
significant up that.
You know, and like, again, not all of that came from coaching, but every day when I say my mantra, I'm like, I want to pay off my debt, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this because so I can give my kids a better life, so I can be there for them, so I can, you know, everything has a purpose. And I've found that when I lean into that purpose, when I'm open to that purpose, the universe is, you know, starting to return. Right? They're here. Whatever it is, whatever is out there. And be the first to say I was totally skeptical when I
How
started.
many ladies said that on our finale call the other day? So many ladies said I was really skeptical about the wealth consciousness work and I wasn't open to it. And this is a really normal story. I'm going to go back to Stephanie's numbers in a minute for clarity. But this was really common for the ladies who were on the final call the other day. A lot of times clients in my Upstream Mastermind start receiving money through like unexpected means. And while you are still building what I call like the channel of your health coaching business, sometimes the universe, if you're doing the work that I'm teaching you, the money mindset, money will start coming from other ways. And we had beautiful stories on our last call the other day for people who are wanting, figures and numbers. We had 6K months, 8K months, 10K months. And sometimes some of that's coming from coaching and some of it's coming from other places because we're doing both. So what Stephanie was sharing was a significant amount of money came from other means as well as $25,000 directly from her new coaching business in the last 6 months. So I think the first month you just got up and running, and then the next 5 months, consistent $5,000 months from there on in. Yeah. That is, just to share those numbers. And I always say, I'll teach you guys how to do that. I've got the 5K a month formula. I've got the money mindset down pat, to share with you all. But ultimately, I think the highlight for me is that you said not only that you've paid off all your student debts, you've paid off, this business training, everything, but you said, we went traveling with the kids, debt free. And to have that feeling, I mean, what's your husband saying about all this? For someone who was so skeptical and tried to stop you, he must be delighted.
Yeah, he is. And he's so proud of me. And he's like, man, he's like, he's so proud of me. And he's like, wow. He's like, I think like I said this before, his exact words were, damn, he's like, it's a good thing you didn't listen to me because you're powerful. I think that's what exactly he said one day. And, it's proof that if you believe in yourself and you do the work, it will come. It will come. And whether it comes, as fast as you want, it's hard to say. But if you put in the work, the formula works. And I said in the beginning, I was like, could it really be this simple? Yeah, it really can be. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to be yourself. You have to be true to who you are. And when I stepped into being who I was and not feeling like I was always fearful about being, a slimy salesperson and like pulling on people's heartstrings and saying, you need this. But when I told myself I was allowed to just share stories and talk to people and open up and be honest about my own journey, my own struggles, my own transparency, people just started coming. And I was like, I can't do, I don't know what's happening.
There's something that we worked through. A couple of things I just want to say, like we worked through all of these kind of things in our group calls like this. We're all on video. And something that we've actually worked through quite a bit in our recent mastermind is identity. And a number of the ladies have started to experience money coming to them or opportunities coming to them, clients, and almost don't believe that it can happen for them. We all say we want success. We all say we want our own business. We want freedom. We want it to be easy. But what happens when it starts coming? Are we able to receive that? Are we allowed to be that? Who do we think is going to judge us? What do we think might fall away? All the fears come up. And what I often find is women get like so close, or maybe even so close to saying yes to themselves, and they won't allow the reality that they are here to live to happen. And these are the kind of conversations that we have as a group. It's not easy. It's not, you can never buy, I guarantee I will put any amount of money down that you cannot go buy an e-course and have this breakthrough. You've got to do the inner work. You've got to have women around you supporting you. And there'll never be a right time in life, and there'll always be excuses, and there'll always be kids at home and no time, and, but I'm doing all these other things. I've got a job. Like there'll always be those. But it won't be until you say, I'm doing this and I'm allowing this, that then others can support you and you can, step forward. So Yeah, God, there's so many things I want to ask you. We've got other ladies to move on to as well.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, I'm sure, would love to hang out in the Healthy Wealthy Society Facebook group, after this, or I know it gets late, maybe tomorrow or something, and answer any questions for anyone. But Stephanie, what advice would you have for women, not who are just scared to take the step? Because I think we've talked about that a lot. There's a lot of ladies on this call who have already joined up for our next group for Upswing Mastermind. It does start next Monday, so we're getting really close to start date now. This program only runs once or twice a year. This year, probably once. So those who are stepping in, what advice would you like to give for them? The ladies who have already had to take the scary leap, they're terrified. I know they're sitting there going, gosh, but what do they do now? What's your best piece of advice to maximize the course once they're in there?
I think that I would have to say that it's really about understanding that there's room for everyone in this field. So what you have to say, what you have to put out into the world might be similar to someone else, but the people who need you are going to need you, and that there's space for everyone. And so a lot of people I saw asking, does this work in my country, or does this work in America, or does this work wherever? I live in a country that has free healthcare, but I still, healthcare and health prevention and self-care are different things. Yeah. Right. And so, if you feel like you can't make it work because there's lots of other health coaches, just stay in your own lane, do what you're going to do, because the people who need you.
Yeah.
Not Jane or Sally or Sue down the road. They need you. And that's.
Amen. Yes. There is plenty of room for all of us. In the Healthy Wealthy Society, someone popped, Deanna, I think she's here, popped the Gary Vee video the other day. Watch it. And he'll give you a right slap, as Gary Vee will do, to say, stop this stories about it's too crowded or whatever. It's like, if this is what you're passionate about, this is what you are here to do, and get on with it. Stop making up stories, stop looking around and saying, well, someone else is doing it. Get on with it. The cream will rise to the top. If you're good at it, if you're passionate, put the blinkers on and focus. There is 70 billion people on the planet. You are right. There was plenty of room for us. Stephanie, thank you so much. At the end, there might be time for Q&A, that we can maybe ask the girls other questions. Otherwise, in my Healthy Wealthy Society Facebook group, I know Stephanie would love to answer anything over there. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story. And we're cheering you on. Okay, I'm going to go to Emily next, because I can see, at least I think she'll be a good one to answer this. I can see a lot of people asking questions, saying things like they're still studying at IIN. They're thinking about studying for another gut course in Tandem. Emily, am I right? You were studying for IIN at the same time as you took Upswing Mastermind. So Emily is in the same Upswing Mastermind group as Stephanie, which means that they're just literally in their final week. They started 6 months ago. And so, Emily, tell me, where were you in your IIN health coaching training 6 months ago when you were looking at joining Upswing?
Yeah, so I was 6 months in. So I've literally just finished the Upswing and the IIN this week.
Well done, all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. You missed me say at the beginning about the eclipses. We're on a massive eclipse happening in about 12 hours or so, and it matches the one 6 months ago. So really interesting timings and cycles. And for anyone who did miss that at the beginning, this eclipse is all about sudden changes into our true path. So don't be surprised if you're sitting here and going, oh gosh, I got to do this, very apt timing. So yeah, share with us, how has that, where were you before you started the program, and how was the experience of studying the two in tandem?
Yeah, so I remember on my discovery call, I sort of said, I'm 6 months through. Is this a wise idea, or should I just wait until I finish IIN and do one thing at a time? And you said to me, I had a lady on my previous mastermind group, who started while she was doing it, and she was one of the only people in her, I don't know if people here in my group coaching circles at the end, that your previous mastermind attendee was the only one that had clients, and I had the same experience. So I was the only one in my group coaching circle at the end of the program that had clients.
Yes, I see this all the time, and I mean this hand on heart. My general rule is, if you're in a 12-month coaching program like IIN, and we'll talk to anyone in different programs, of course, about your timings. But in general, if you're doing a 12-month program, maybe wait to the 3-month mark. Although I've had a lot of ladies start right from the beginning, and I'm open to that conversation if you're a go-getter and you're like, I want to do this. But once you're past the 3-month mark, then you're ready. And I have so many people get to the end, as Emily just said, and said, I was the only person in my class at the end of 12 months who was getting paying clients and making money. Only person. I remember one lady saying to me, everyone was like, what's the target market in her final call? I don't want you guys to do that. It's a waste of time and energy that you should be out there serving others with this work. So you hadn't actually told me that, Emily, but yeah, I hear it time and time again. So no surprise that you have the similar. And by the way, I want to be really clear, I love the health coaching skills. I'm not bagging out the health coaching skills. They are awesome. Their business training is just not, I think, in a way that us as women get. Would that resonate? Like, you know, like seeing us all do it together and actually like real world understanding of the business training. They're specialists in health coaching, you know, and not in business. So that's where we fill this gap here. Mm-hmm. So tell me more about doing the two together. How was that?
Yeah, well, I've just seen someone ask, can you do IAN and upswing and work full-time? So full disclosure, I didn't work full-time, but I worked a 4-day-a-week role, did upswing mastermind and worked full-time. Okay. And it was pretty full-on 4-day-a-week role. I don't have children, but I think you can do anything if you want to do it.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I was a lawyer. I now,
okay.
Yeah. I now, at the time, since November, I've been doing coaching and yoga teaching full time.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not have been able to step away from my legal career.
Excuse me.
with any confidence.
Yeah.
In this course.
Okay. So really clear. So we've got the facts on the table. Emily was working as a lawyer and studying when she joined Upswing Mastermind. And then August, September, October, November, about 3 to 4 months in, left that job and started doing yoga teaching and health coaching. Yeah, we got that. Awesome. Okay. Just so people can see, you know, that progression. So what would you like to share? What was some key highlights for you or lessons or learnings that you'd like to share with women in the community? And if anyone's got any particular questions for Emily, hearing her circumstances, put them in and I'll keep an eye on them.
So I think my key takeaway was very similar to Oda's. It was, it's still a journey for me in the confidence piece, but my confidence from 6 months ago versus my confidence today was just like fundamentally different. But how I got there was by following one of your kind of key, you know, blasts that you blast out throughout the program, is just keep taking imperfect action. Keep taking imperfect action. So I think a while ago I saw someone post, you know, how do we go about approaching a doctor without a brochure or a flyer? Well, you're better off approaching the doctor without a brochure or a flyer than not approaching the doctor at all, or giving them, you know, a handwritten, this is my name and my number, that kind of thing. I just kept doing it even when I didn't feel particularly confident, and I'm still doing that. I kind of, every time I press a post yes on social media, I'm like, ugh. But I keep doing it and things kind of keep happening and coming, and I'm rewarded for that imperfect action.
Yeah. How does the mastermind help with that? I mean, other than me saying take imperfect action like every day to you all, like how did you find the support system as far as holding you accountable, either an inspiration of, you know, other women or just having that network to keep you going? Do you want to give any insights into that?
Yeah, so the program was kind of twofold useful for that, and the accountability piece, just having the modules come out every week and thinking, I better catch up on that one and do that one and take that action, you know. For example, in one of the, I think it was the 30-day challenge, we were encouraged to send an email out to our entire network saying this is what I do. And for some people this would be an easy thing. For me, I felt sick to my stomach, like, ugh. And I did it. And even when I did it, I thought, oh God, this is awful. I included my boss on the email. I thought, he's going to think I was working for a funds manager as a financial services lawyer.
Yeah.
And I'm a mindfulness coach. I'm not actually a health coach. And my boss is very much, he was an international cricket player. He works for a funds manager. He's a lawyer. I thought, he's going to think I'm such an idiot. He came in the next morning and said, because I hadn't told anyone what I was doing. It's really interesting. I've been going down to the Buddhist monastery and doing meditation. I love meditation. This is so cool. So
I love that. When we shine our light, we give permission to others to do the same. Don't be so crazy to think that people aren't at home sitting there struggling themselves and looking for help, because they are. And I say this to everyone, like, don't be so selfish and actually in our own head to think, oh, no one wants this help. Like, they're going to think I'm annoying. People are sitting at home struggling. People are sick. People are in pain. People are so frustrated that doctors won't tell them anything. Do you know what? I went to the doctor the other day to get something from my naturopath, and he told me, I will not do your blood tests. That is witchcraft. True story. New doctor, clearly won't go there again. And, you know, but this is happening, how frustrated people feel. And all of us have different experiences that we can help people with. And that is just, sorry, I'm just so, how many people are sitting there feeling that way and waiting for you to send that email that, you know, is scary for someone. So, or might feel scary to you. And in the 30-day challenge, I give you 30 different tasks. There's a lady going through right now through the 30-day challenge who's chose to do it again, and she's sharing results with me. She has done everything in that 30-day challenge to a T. And almost every single one of those days has brought a discovery session, which is the sales process. She is pushing the boundary, and it's out of her comfort zone, and it is phenomenal. And ultimately, though, what that challenge is teaching you is not only a whole lot of different ways to get clients, but that practice, that there is nothing more important than putting yourself out there day after day after day after day. And yeah, well done. And by the way, everyone's scared and feels that way. And that's why the program is so supportive, right? Like, we all feel that way, and we're cheering each other on. And, you know, some of the girls in one of my groups right now just all cheered each other on to do their first Facebook Live, and they were all scared, and now they're out there doing it. And you would probably never do that by yourself. So I interrupted you talking about the two aspects of the mastermind, but I get excited.
So the second was the accountability of the group. And so I had a similar experience with a Facebook Live. One of the girls in our mastermind group, I was sort of, we had a catch up, and I said, oh yeah, I feel so disgusting about doing Facebook Lives. I think it's, you know, it's on my roadmap. I'll do it one day, but not yet. She said, you're going to do it today. If you haven't done it by 7:00 this evening, I am calling you. You're doing it at 7:00 this evening. And I realized as I was driving home, a little reminder popped up on my phone at 7:00. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I did my Facebook Live.
Amazing. Yeah, totally. This is just the fun and the accountability, for sure.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned on our last call of the mastermind group, it was really incredible seeing both the wins and the struggles of the group, because when you see the wins, you kind of like, this is possible, this is happening, you know, they're just like me. And they're like Stephanie, for example, even on this call, I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's, you know, she's obviously a bit further on the path than I am, and I'm like, this is where I could be. And likewise, when people share their struggles, you can think, oh, I'm not alone in this, like, this is what I'm experiencing too. So it is it's phenomenal.
Beautiful. So there's a question in the chat box around people coaching on Skype or in person. And I would say that 95%, 98% of people who come through the Upswing Mastermind coach via Skype or phone. So we don't need to worry about having a home office or bringing people into our homes or anything like that. But Emily, I think one of your biggest wins is, I believe, that you're actually sitting in your office, in a public office, like not at home or not anything. You actually have got your own private space now and set up for clients. Yeah. Isn't it pretty? And the last thing I think I'll ask you, Emily, is you mentioned confidence. And we sat on that final call earlier this week. I don't think there was a woman on there who had not grown in confidence. Like, when you looked around your mastermind sisters, growth is a word that so many women tell me they want in their life. They want to step into who they are, you know, become the woman they know they're meant to be. There's a lot of regrets that I hear from women who wish they'd stepped into this earlier in their life, etc. I don't think there was a single woman on that call this week who hadn't grown in their confidence in that time. What would your reflection be on, you know, witnessing the growth of other women around you in the program?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. And I actually didn't realize when we were speaking on the call that I assumed that, so on the group coaching calls, it's kind of like this, you see screens with people's videos and people put their hand up and ask questions. And I assumed that when you didn't see someone on the screen, it was because they were busy or couldn't make the call. But I didn't realize that it was because a lot of people didn't feel confident even putting themselves up on camera.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, that didn't detract from what they got out of the course, but there were a lot more new faces popping up by the end of the course.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to that because it's something that I forget about too often. Ideally,
I just have to run.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to talk to that for everyone, but thank you so much for being here. Got to run and do clients. Hard life. Well done, Emily. We're celebrating you. And, I'll just quickly talk to that for a moment. Ideally, in an ideal dream world, I'd love everyone to be on video on our laser coaching calls like this each week, which I offer, which is your opportunity to be coached by me, learn and immerse in coaching and watch me coaching all the other women. Some women in the program choose to never come on those live laser coaching calls. And what I witnessed time and time again is they show up on the last call like they did this week, or they email me a lot during the program. And some women get the transformation of their life by just sitting and watching the replays at home. We're all Oda. There we go. Oda doesn't come to a lot of the live calls. And even Stephanie. See, I forget. I want everyone to come live and experience that coaching, but you will often get your big breakthroughs. In fact, Emily, I was coaching Emily on something a few weeks ago. I don't know if Stephanie, if you were on that call or not, but I was coaching Emily and another lady on the screen, tears started running. And I was present with Emily. I was coaching Emily. And then I came over here and asked Jacqueline, what's going on over here? And she just said, I had the biggest breakthrough of this whole course and everything fell into place. She was watching me coach Emily. Sometimes the watching, there's something very, very powerful if we're not on the spot and feeling, that we are processing in ourselves. So yeah, Stephanie's saying some of the most powerful transformations happen being part of someone else's coaching. And I think everyone here will attest that your coaching, everyone doesn't feel confident in coaching when they start, and sitting for 6 months watching me coach a whole lot of women every single week has to boost your confidence like a millionfold. So what I'm going to do now is Amanda has a very great story for us too. It's going to be full of numbers like everyone wants, and I'm going to get any final questions all coming in for Amanda. But what I'm going to do is pause and share with you what the Upswing Mastermind is about, because I was going to leave it to the end, but so many questions coming in. Let me share with you what the program is, what the hell we're even talking about here, so that you have context. And then Amanda's story, you're going to want to hang around for this. It's awesome. There's going to be so many learnings. Amanda is probably one of the more further along clients that I have now. She's been working with me for about 18 months or so. So she's going to share not only the mastermind journey, but what is possible and where you can take this well and beyond. You got to watch this. Everyone's going to hang around because that will be worth, you can't buy this training, guys. This is, from their mouths, this is exactly what's going on. But let me share my screen for a minute and I'm going to quickly explain to you. Because I can see all the questions. It's just much easier if I do this now. So, Oda, can you confirm that that is on my screen for me? Because I can only see you right this second. Awesome. Okay. So do put in the chat box any, further questions for the ladies, for me, for Amanda Pickering, who's going to be our last speaker today. Anything that you want to know at all, because I would love to know, what is your biggest aha or insight from today's training? All these ladies have taken time out of their clearly busy schedules. Some of them are up very late at night doing so, and we care so much to offer this to the community, whether or not I'm well aware most of you will never work with me, etc. And this is my gift to you, and I want you to maximize this time. I'm in no hurry. I'm here for as many questions as you like today. But I want to know what your biggest aha is, so that I know that what you are taking away from here. And, as we get those in, I don't know why you personally, chose to come along, whether you just felt called, there was that intuition in you that was like, I need to come witness this. I need to know. Maybe there's that curiosity that we spoke about right at the beginning. Like, maybe I just need to know whether this is for me. Maybe you're tired of getting stuck in overwhelm, exhausted, trying to figure out how to get clients yourself, how to, maybe you don't have a system or a map and you're just piecing it all together. Maybe it is that you just really ready to serve more clients and go professional in your business, but maybe your confidence, lack of business knowledge is holding you back. I would assume many of you know deep down in your heart that learning how to get clients is the key, you know, that you don't yet have. And one of my biggest learnings when I was beating myself up for months trying to get clients is I used to think that I wasn't good enough until I realized that I just didn't have the learnings. I just didn't have the teaching yet. How could I possibly have, in hindsight, got clients, and I built my health coaching business to 5K a month, 8K a month, 11K a month, 13K a month, ongoing before I eventually transitioned to where I am today. And I was so hard on myself. And in hindsight, I just didn't have the training. I was beating myself up so unnecessary. And, you know, ultimately you're probably here because you know deep down that you're meant to get this work out and that it is your time to rise. And I'm curious, how much money would change your life? I'd love to get some thoughts in the chat box. How much money would change your life? We've shared some stories today of people, you know, making several thousand a month, 5,000 a month. Oh, Emily's gone. She didn't share with us. This month she made, I think it was $7,000, $8,000 in her business. $25,000 in 5 months. How much money would change your life, and what would you do with that money? I'd love to get some thoughts. What would you do with that money? Where are you personally getting stuck? From what you've seen today, maybe you identify with where others were getting stuck and where they were actually holding themselves back. You're all smart cookies, so you're going to be coaches. It's some self-coaching time and some honesty time. Where are you holding yourself back from moving forward? Because ultimately, I'm curious, why is now the time for you to create your ideal life? Because you can have this. There is nothing that I've done in my business. There's nothing that any of these women have done. I did not, by the way, choose my absolute top case studies of clients. I chose a random selection of people that I just really intuitively felt would connect with different levels, different lifestyles. And like I said, I selected some people from all around the world. And why is now the time for you to create that too? And checking in, self-coaching here. Do you need a mentor? Something we've talked about a lot today. Do you need a step-by-step plan to follow? Which of these pieces are missing in your life right now? Let me know which ones are missing. A mentor, step-by-step plan to follow, community of like-minded go-getters. We talked a lot about entrepreneurial loneliness. I don't believe that you can do this alone. I personally am always in mastermind groups, weekly live coaching support, daily support. Who do you go to for those everyday questions? The little ones. Or the questions like, I tried to set this up and it didn't work. Who knows how to make it work? Like, there are so many questions. Or I spoke to a potential new client and they said they'll have to go sleep on it. What do I do? Like, I could come up with an encyclopedia of questions on a day-to-day. Where do you go for that support? Where are you getting, or do you have the practical help to shift those pesky little mindset blocks that we've talked a lot about today? And do you have the tools, training, and all the how-tos that didn't come from the health coaching school? Like we've talked about, the templates, the scripts, what's actually happening and working for your business, both online and off. And let's have a think about why now. These are excuses that the mind will come up with, and all of us could find them all if we wanted, or many. Still studying, still in full-time jobs, still have kids at home, waiting for confidence, waiting for blocks to dissolve, waiting to get clients first, waiting for your website, waiting for your husband. We saw women talk about this all through today's. Every single one of these women had these excuses or had these reasons, but they chose to go ahead anyway, because there is never going to be a perfect time. If not now, then when? Why now? What if you could cross out all of these excuses? Who would you be without those excuses? And you choose now. Because if not now, when? The someday effect is real. If you never choose to break that cycle, it will always be someday. And I honestly have spoken to many, many women in the last couple of weeks. The Upswing Mastermind is over 3/4 full right now. We always sell out in a couple of weeks. And I've spoken to so many women and my heart has broken when they talk about their regrets of not having done this or stepped into who they are or started to help others 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I hear stories of people saying, I thought I couldn't do it because I had kids at home. Now the kids are left home and I'm still scared. If not now, when? I assure you, it is time for you to step onto the field and make an impact with a proven system exclusively for health coaches. The world needs this now. We only have to open our eyes and see. The world is waking up. The health system is not working. There is a need for health coaches. You have been tapped on the shoulder for a reason, and it is your time. You're going to want a system, though. It will be near impossible to do this alone. You want a system that takes all of the overwhelm and guesswork out of this. Don't create drama for drama's sake. Don't try and make it hard. We talked today about the belief of, can it really be easy? It might not be easy because, like we said, there's still work, but it should never be hard. You want to take all that overwhelming guesswork out. And you want a profitable, repeatable, scalable system, something that people have worked out before. Oh my God, I saw that quote. What was it? Yesterday on Instagram. Don't take directions from someone who's never been where you want to go. Great quote. Wonder whose it was. Ultimately, you want a system that creates impact and income, and a proven system. Because it is your time to rise. Give me a hell yes in the chat box. I want to see, is it your time to rise? We're not moving on. I'm not going to share anything more with you until we get some hell yeses. Who's in? Who's time to rise? Who's going to make this happen? Because honestly, you will get stuck your whole life if you get stuck in these mindsets. Oh, I love all these hands raising and all these hell yeses. Okay, it is your time to rise, lady. I assure you, there is never a better time. And these women that I've shared with you today have followed my system, and so have hundreds of new health coaches. And we are just like you. I hope that today's training helped you see that we are normal. We are like you. The only difference is that we have a system to follow and it works. And I promise if we can do it, so can you. So here are the details of the Upswing Mastermind. It is a 6-month intimate experience for driven health coaches. This is my signature Upswing program. Upswing Mastermind has run, this will be our 9th time. I have been in online business and marketing my entire career for 20 years. I have run 2 successful coaching businesses. Current one brings in over $1 million a year. This program works, this system works. It is proven system. And it is specifically designed for health coaches. You heard the nuances today of the woman who had spent time and money on one-on-one coaches and group programs and other business courses, and still the pieces hadn't clicked. You want a program which is step-by-step to fill your health coaching practice, even if you're brand new in business and even if you've never had a client before. This is an intimate mastermind experience. This is not like a course with hundreds of people in it or anything. This is a live program. It's like we're all getting on a train together. Myself, my 14 coaches, and all the other women, many of whom, like I say, they're already on the train, literally. I've got their names in front of me on my whiteboard. Like I say, the train's 3/4 full. We're ready to go. This is an intimate mastermind experience where we're all going to be going on a journey together. There's going to be business training. There's going to be a lot of wealth consciousness and money mindset work, which we actually didn't talk about too much today. So maybe when we get to Amanda's final story, we might dive into some of that. You'll get the opportunity for one-on-one coaching on our group laser coaching calls each week, and massive accountability. You have your beautiful mastermind membership portal. I think it was Oda was talking about that. Each week you'll get a brand new video training. You'll get worksheets, scripts, templates, everything that you need to set up your business. And I just want to share this with you. My own coach talked about this chart to me yesterday on my coaching call. And I laughed and I said, that's in my presentation for tomorrow. And no business ever goes, he said, from bottom left to top right in a straight line. And It's not possible. People think that they're just going to buy a program, and I'm going to tell you, you're not going to buy my program and go from bottom left to top right. If you want that, leave the call now. It's fine, because I will never be able to deliver that to you, and neither will anybody else. And by the way, if you put that expectation, you're going to think you should do that as a coach too, and you'll never, ever succeed, because no one's growth will ever go from bottom left to top right in a nice, perfect, clean line like that. The one on the right is what it really looks like. And this is the truth. And I'm just going to lay it out how it is. Entrepreneurship, you are going to get along to that first little blip, and it's going to get all curvy. Who are you going to turn to? How are you going to get support? Who are you going to ask? Have you been down this road before? Which way do I turn? It looks like the one on the right. And all my beautiful panelists here today will tell you it looks like the one on the right. You need support. You need a system. You need a plan. You need a map to get through that maze. And you will get there, as all the ladies shared, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other. So we have a plan to guide you through that. It's a 6-month curriculum. We're going to go through everything from your money mindset and your business plan, going into these money stories like we talked about, but also the structural pieces of identifying your niche or your niche, target market, creating your package, getting your clients. The program does start very soon. Within a month, you're going to have all of that set up. I hear ladies like a year later come back to me and say, I should have taken this program. I still don't have my package, or it's still not selling. I thought that I knew better. I thought I had the target market. I thought I had that, and I realize now I didn't. Can you help me? Don't do that. You can have that in a few weeks. You're going to learn to get clients, over 30 ways that will teach you to get clients, how to actually serve. Many of you have got, some level of coaching, but we're going to help you. What do you do in each session? How do you open your coaching sessions, close your coaching sessions? We'll do lots of demos with each other. I'm going to teach you to do discovery calls, how to sell. You need this system. What are you offering them? How are you going to find the clients? How are you going to sell on your calls? How are you actually, going to manage your life, like we're saying, to do all of this, building your coaching confidence, and then all the pieces up from there. How do you set up your legals? How do you set up your systems for taking payment? How do you schedule clients? What do you then do from there with social media, websites, Facebook, list building, hosting webinars, workshops, all of these things? There's a lot to learn, and you could possibly go try work all of this out if you need to prove that to yourself, and it might take you a few years and you might work it out, but why wait? There's a system, there's a structure and a formula and an order that you will want to do this to be getting the results like the clients have shared with you today. And, I'm not going to go into all the case studies because you are lucky enough here to have live ladies sharing their stories. But we've had, like I said, hundreds of women through the program now. Like I said, this will be the 9th time we're running the program. And I literally just have so many stories, that I could share with you. Emma here, 3 months in the mastermind, I've doubled my revenue compared to the 3 months prior. Emma almost didn't join the mastermind because her boss and family were telling her, you'll never make money as a health coach. She says here she's made more money in the first month of the program than she did prior. And she also went on to be making 5K months and leave and be full-time. I'm not, like I said, going to go through all of these, but just to share with you, there's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different angles, talking here about the resources and the scripts and how much learning comes from our laser coaching sessions. Is this program for you? It's not for everybody, and this program is by application. So this is for women who are driven, determined, and ready to take action on making $5,000 a month as a health coach. They are ready for a step-by-step proven roadmap. They're ready to tell the inner critic that you are going to choose your own reality. You have to be open to tackling money blocks and understand and be open to the mindset of wealth consciousness and abundance and manifesting in the mix with the structural masculine. If you just want business and systems and, funnels only, I'm not your coach. I am, a coach at heart. I'm going to coach you. We're going to step you into your brilliance. And as we shared before with Emily, there's not a woman in this program who can't step forward in her personal growth. We're getting on the train. You understand the importance of accountability and you like to get things moving. Quite simply, I'm looking for applicants who are fully determined to make $5,000 a month and keep upswinging from there. You will receive weekly video business training, weekly group laser coaching sessions, bonus calls with industry guest mentors, workbooks, templates, scripts, resources, private community for masterminding. I have 4 team coaches supporting you, and a very high level of accountability and support. Again, this is not an e-course. This is we're all getting on the train together live for 6 months. So I'm curious, are you ready to make 5K per month as a health coach? Who's ready for that? Who's ready for that? I need at least 10 hell yeses before we move on. I'm keeping an eye out. Who wants this? Who is dedicated? It's not even about the money. Like, who's dedicated to doing this in their life? I'm seeing hands raised. 3, 4, 5. We need 10. Who's dedicated? Woo, I love those hands raised. Those are awesome. Can you see those on my screen? Is that being shared with all of you? We just got taken over with, whew. I never seen it do it quite like that before. That's fun. Keep doing those raised hands. It's kind of awesome. It's like the little hearts on Facebook Live, but it's like these big ones. Oh, awesome. Okay, sounds like we're ready. I love the energy of this group. Guys, can you imagine, like, this is what it's like every week, that we all get to hang out and cheer each other on? And even, can you feel like that frequency in your body lifting and like, hell yes, I'm doing this? This is why you need a coach, and this is why you need a community. So the next mastermind starts 5th of February. We are so close now. Like I said, we're about 3/4 full, and the last announcements are going to go to my list in the next few days. I have about 25,000 people on my list. Those spots are going to go. So if you are on the call today, you have the heads up, the head start, if you like, to get those final spots. 5th of February is when we start. I run this once or twice a year. This year, I honestly, at this stage, am only intending once. Never say never, but that is the plan. And again, even if I did run it again, who knows, like, why, if not now, when? So many people, I say, if the cards are lining up, you can't make any assumptions that anything in life will be here for you later. We're starting on the 5th of February. This train is leaving the station in about 5-6 days. And this is your chance if you would like to join us. So what's the investment? A lot of you have been asking that. The standard investment is $5,995 in full. I have a new payment plan for you all to make this as easy as possible to join us if you know this is for you. It is 12 payments of $595. You heard today, most of the girls in the program are charging approximately $1,000 for a package. Some you heard were starting to go up to $1,250 and beyond. Some even more. We might get some more numbers from Amanda shortly. But you'd need 1 client every 2 months for the next year to pay back your investment. That's all. 1 client every 2 months. And if you don't know how to get 6 single clients in the next year already, then even more so why you need this. So that payment plan is available to you. It used to be a 6-month payment plan. I've made it now very generously over a whole year to make this as easy as possible. But of course, there's an investment, and it's very, very important that I have women who are serious about making this happen and understand the tenfold that will come back. We heard Stephanie, $25,000 paid back. We heard a number of ladies, like I said, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. All well in advance of that. And one thing my husband often says to me around investment through a business mind is, will you make this back in 3 years of your business? That's how businessmen think. And honestly, if you don't know how to make 12 payments of this back in 3 years of your business, you really, really, really need business mentoring and training. This training, any of the ladies will attest, is the only training you're going to need for the next 3, 4, 5 years of your business. Don't keep buying the smaller e-courses and finding that they're not working. Invest in a system that's actually going to bring you money and clients. For being on the call with me today, it's been a long call. I honor those of you who are clearly very serious about growing your businesses. And so I've got a bonus. If you do apply for the program while we're on the call today, while you're watching this call, then I'm going to offer you a training. This is one of my only trainings that is not in the mastermind. There is no way to buy this program. It is a 10 steps to 5K months training, which is all about wealth consciousness. It goes into the inner work. And many ladies who have got this training from me when signing up, normally I only offer it for early birds, but I decided to offer it to those of you who have stuck around for a good couple of hours today. This training has seen people bringing in clients before they've even started my program. It's that powerful. So this is going to be your bonus. If you apply for the mastermind and we accept you and you are on today's call, you will be getting my 10 steps to 5K months training as my gift to you to staying on so long today. So you're going to, I'll show you how to sign up, and you too could be one of these ladies, right? Like 6 months from now. Upswingmastermind.com. I'll get Yoli to put the link in the chat box. There are limited spaces left, ladies. You are going to, on the page, you'll see there's a place to apply. The application is no obligation. You don't have to pay anything to have an interview with us. We are looking for women who are dedicated. You've heard today that I have complete compassion, and I understand, so does my team, that it is not an easy decision to join a program like this. It's scary to act on our dreams. It's scary to invest. We totally get that. And we have carved out 45 minutes for each and every one of you who want to explore the program. There's no obligation. We will be completely honest. You've seen the woman, you know, I want go-getters, and I want those that I know that I can help. And if there's something in your heart that wants this, give yourself this free gift that I'm offering you. 45 minutes with one of my team members to actually walk through our process in the upswing and see if it would be a good fit for you. That is my gift for you. 45 minutes for you to explore. And there is an application form. After you've filled in the application form, you are going to get the link to book in for that call. I'm going to say it now. Don't come back to me. And I'm telling you now, those times will book out. We only have like 4 or 5 days left. And like I said, this is going to go out today after this call to my list of 25,000 people. Those spots are going to book out. If you even have the smallest inkling that maybe this program might be for you, fill in an application form, book in a call to talk with my team, and let's explore it. Give yourself that gift of at least having said, I explored it and I chose a yes or a no. Because most women I find are scared of trying because they're scared of failing. Does anyone relate to that? But if you choose not to even try, then you chose to fail anyway. You chose the worst case anyway. So I encourage you all to book your complimentary discovery session to find out if the program is right for you. And this is your head chance. Like I say, if you're on the call today, not only am I going to give you that free training, which is one of the most powerful trainings that I know of, and is my gift to you, but you will get a head start on those last spots. Clearly, there's only so much time in our calendars. We're generously giving, 45 minutes, possibly even up to an hour for each of you who do that. That means there's not time for many people left, and there's not that many places left in the program either. So jump on. I'm giving you the head start. We're going to jump to Amanda's story in a minute, but I'm just going to share another couple of things. Jenny, in the UK, 3 kids under 6, first 12 weeks of the Upswing Mastermind, made $12,000 back from her health coaching business, paid back the investment 2 or 3 times over just in those first 12 weeks, let alone, it's a 24-week program in the end. But more importantly, she's just so happy that she's making an impact in all of these people's lives. 3 small children, didn't think she'd have time, but she's working just 1.5 days a week on her business and stoked with those results. She says she feels like she's jumped on the fast track. I'm going to skip Amanda's because she's going to share that with you. But a reminder, this is not something I talk about a lot, but I'm just going to say it before we jump back to Amanda. There are 3 aspects to this mastermind: business training, mastermind group, and laser coaching. These are very specifically designed. There's a famous book, How to Live a Good Life, Jonathan Fields. There are 3 aspects to happiness in life: health and vitality, group of like-minded people, and contributing to the world. The program matches this. You are not learning from a coach who believes in burnout. I've been there, I'll never do it again. Our highest values in this mastermind are your health and vitality, and you will be learning to serve others in the world through the training of health and vitality. You must be surrounded by a group of like-minded women. I do not believe that success is possible any other way. And you will be contributing to the world when you actually start getting your work out there. So we start Monday. This is final days. And so get in your application. The applications are closed once we run out of spots in our calendars. You know, we may have to close early, or once the spots are gone. Now is your chance. I'm giving you the head start. That bonus copy of my 10 days to become a 5K woman video workshop is for those of you live on the call and apply while you're here live today. Or if you're watching the replay, I will accept those up until the 1st of February and count you for getting the bonus for being on here today. There's women already in the program, like I said, we're 75% full, and they're already in there. And I just want you to visualize this before we come to our final speaker. You can see 28th of January, Jessica, yesterday, Chula, you know, a few days ago, a lot of women stepping up and claiming their places in the mastermind. I guarantee, I don't know if any of them are on the call, but they would attest, I guarantee they were scared. And the minute they processed their application, as you can see in their membership sites already, they were ecstatic. Many ladies had tears. Many ladies know that they're stepping into them, and the relief that comes on the other side. We're just scared of saying yes. And of course, everyone's, you know, there's different emotions, like we say, you know, and everyone's raring to go and getting to know each other. And we would love you to join the beautiful group of women. I assure you that we are handpicking the best of the best, and you are going to have an amazing group of new best friends in the coming months. I don't believe I could have built my business to where it is today without my own mastermind sisters. And so, yeah, jump on over, get your application in, and then we're going to hear Amanda's story. You want more numbers, more client numbers, more financial numbers. I think Amanda's probably really open. You know, some people don't like to share that. I think Amanda's going to share that all with you. And she's a little bit further along now, like I said, so we can see where you can keep taking your career. But ultimately, I want to say for all of us, 2018 is our time as women to start making decisions that are true for us. You heard that in all the women who spoke today. There's only so long that we can put up with being told by others what's right for us or trying to make other people happen. It's time to take our desires and dreams seriously. It's time for us to feel our fears and do it anyway. Yes, we're all scared, but we're doing it anyway. It's time for us to step into our powerful selves and build our confidence. And it's time for us to make a massive difference. So upswingmastermind.com is the link to book your discovery session. We will book you in for that 45-minute enrollment application call. We'll see if we're a good fit. If we decide you're a good fit, then we will absolutely be able to offer you one of those last places in the program. And I do not believe in synchronicities. If you have carved out over 2 hours of your time today, this is clearly important for you. Back yourself that little bit more and at least be open to exploring by chatting to one of us on the phone. And, you know, I could literally give you books and books of women who have gone through the program who say to me, I would have gone back to work. You know, now I have clients, 3 clients every month coming consistently, whatever that is. And it's all about taking the small steps and working through the system. You know, many ladies we've heard about today have invested in one-on-one business coaches before. Skeptical even of group programs. Amanda might talk to us about that to wrap up, and have found the investment in the mastermind to be worth 10 times, 20 times that they, you know, would have possibly got out of a coach. And I want you to know this is a very magical formula that we've built here. And there's a reason why we get the results. So many women have been before you. Take their learnings. Take my learnings. Trust me, it's been that kind of loopy-doopy thing that I showed you, that chart. That has been my life. That has been my experience. I've done so much of the hard work for you. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Women before you have done the hard work. I've been studying. I've been refining. I've been seeing what's working in the market. So many people before you have done this. Why not you too? So as we move back to Amanda now, there's the link for one last time, upswingmastermind.com. I will take any questions about the program after we hear Amanda's story. So the lounge room bonus of your free workshop, absolute deadline for me to give that to you. It'll be given to anyone who applies, who's here live on the call, or if you watch the replay, until the 1st. And then the program does start next Monday. We're on the last days, ladies. Any questions about the program, put them in the chat box. Let's hear Amanda's story, and let's wrap up with some more numbers and some more people and some more excitement. Let's see any last questions that you have from Amanda or of me. And yes, I can see lots of ladies saying I'm in and I'm scared too. I know, but trust me, we have your back, all of you. You're all up on my chart. I could show you, but it's a little hard to turn around. And my team is already studying all of your backgrounds and getting excited to welcome you in. We have your back for the next 6 months, and we do have room for a few more of you to join us. So get those applications in. Any last questions for Amanda? And Amanda, you've also seen the chat box and know where we're at. So give me an update on, how long ago was it that you started the Upswing Mastermind?
18 months. So I think I signed up July 2016. Yeah, we started August 2016. It feels like a long time ago now.
I know, I get a little bit warped too, because it's the time warp once you get started, right? So where were you? What was happening in your life? Were you working full-time? Where were you living? What was going on for context before you started the Upswing Mastermind?
Okay, so I live in London with my husband. I was working full-time running a charity, supporting homeless people. I was on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And I was really in a point in my business. I'd kind of been doing health coaching. I think I graduated from IIN a year before. And I was at a point in my business where it was either something needs to change or this doesn't work. Was really where I was at.
Because you had invested in one-on-one coaches and all the world's top online e-courses and group programs, right? But they weren't specific for health coaches.
Yeah, I'd invested in the best online business courses out there, and they were brilliant for what they stood for. But I saw some people had said in the chat box they didn't always finish courses. That was partly the problem, but also it just was too generic. It wasn't specific to health coaching, and I didn't realize. I thought coming out of IIN I should know everything. I should kind of just be ready to go. So I thought there was something wrong with me.
Yeah. So that's where you were, and you were really make or break. So this was kind of like your last ditch attempt, if you like. Okay, and you said that you actually originally were not willing to work with me unless it was one-on-one. Like you wanted the health coaching, like the best in the world at the health coaching, and I must be one-on-one or else I'm out. So clearly you decided to join the mastermind. How was that experience for you? Because I know you so wanted one-on-one. What did you learn by working in the mastermind format? How was that?
I mean, I'll say this, I'm so glad that you don't offer one-on-one at that level, because I was convinced that was the best way I'd get that personalized support I was looking for. I wanted your eyes solely on my business, and actually what I got was so much more, because what I really experienced in the mastermind was sisterhood, and it was at a level I'd never experienced before of just this support rather than like competitiveness. So there was that side of it, which really came from a Facebook group. But then on the laser coaching, genuinely other people's breakthroughs were sometimes more, I got more breakthroughs watching other people's breakthroughs than I did necessarily on my laser coaching with you. It was just watching other people.
Yeah.
And also when they had these wins, you're just like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, So it definitely built a belief in me. So, and I don't think I was ready actually for one-on-one coaching. I think I got a lot more value out of the group stuff and also the training.
Yeah, let's pause on that. Some people ask me this, why, and Amanda alluded that I don't work with beginners. I would be robbing you as a beginner to take you as a one-on-one client. There is 45 minutes worth of business training for 6 months that you all need. as one-on-one coach, I mean, you wouldn't even fit that in a session. So I couldn't give that to you. You need people, you need support in your life. You need on a daily basis someone to be able to ask these questions. I've made my program. What do you think? There'll be people in your target market in the group that you can get honest feedback beyond what I could give you. I'm probably not your target market. You need people to cheer you on. You need accountability. And then you need the laser coaching. And I will, coach, obviously, Amanda, I'd coach her and she still gets that coaching. Sometimes in your private laser coaching, you might get 30 minutes, 45 minutes if I choose to do that for the group. Or other weeks, you might get more out of watching other people. And you learn your coaching. I could never deliver that kind of experience one-on-one. And I could never, hand on heart, talk about these kind of results for a one-on-one experience in that way. I could not do it. And I don't believe any other coach out there can. I will work with people at a higher advanced level. Sure. When it gets really specialized into online marketing, etc. But I do not know a way. And I've experienced a lot of different coaching in my life. I've been doing this kind of work for 15 years and I don't know of a better format that could get results. And so, sure, it'd be easy to take one-on-one clients, and people would pay me a lot of money to do it. I will not do it for that reason. You won't get the results that you would of the mastermind group, guaranteed. So that's one-on-one. Having said that, there's so much in your story and your journey, and I think we've covered a lot. Give me everyone wants numbers, everyone wants figures. Give me some tangibles in the first 6 months of what you experienced in starting to get clients. So you weren't really getting clients before you started. You were about to give up. You started believing you couldn't make money as a health coach. What did you start to experience tangibly as far as results?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this. Funny story, I don't think you know this, but I took some of your free training before I joined the mastermind, and it was on purposeful packages. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to try this because I had not got one paying client up until this point. So I decided to, rather than just sell generic health coaching, try purposeful packages. Yeah. So I created this thing, and my niche is weight loss, and I sold one. And it was the first time ever bought anything from me. So it was the first time I'd actually made money as a coach. And I
didn't know that.
I realized I never told you. So I think it was for 6 sessions, and it was £500 or something.
Yeah.
And so, but then nothing else came from it. And so, I was kind of stuck. So when I joined the mastermind, didn't have the money, a lot of fear, finally took the plunge, and was, I think in the first 10 weeks, I made $10,000. Now, like Stephanie, it wasn't all from just coaching. It was so much world consciousness, which I just thought was woo-woo crap, if I'm honest, before it. Now I'm like a total convert. All of that stuff, it was so powerful that it unlocked a lot of stuff that allowed me to receive, because a lot of my stuff was around not receiving. So I received 10,000 in, I think half of that was from coaching in the first 10 weeks. So more than paid back the investment.
Yeah.
And then so I think I was charging, with your help, I went up from 600 straight to 1250, I think. Mm-hmm. And the first day somebody paid me in full, £1,250.
Yeah.
I think the first day someone paid me in full, I literally fell off the bed. Like, I could not believe it was possible. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, people were arguing with me before about paying £300, for coaching, and now I'm 150. And I stayed at that until I'd had like 3 or 4 clients. And by the end of the 6 months, I felt confident enough to go part-time in my job, working for this charity.
Because that's a big point for people, right? And I don't encourage anyone to leap from their job. I didn't share my story today. I did that. I wouldn't recommend it, because it put a lot of stress and a lot of worry and pressure on money, for me in that time. Some people do, that's great. And when you're ready. But I think it's a real pivotal piece when we can go, I'm confident enough now to go to my boss and say, I'm going to go part-time. Like, that is major. And that happened for you in the first couple of months of the mastermind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not sure what the comment is about. That seems a lot, but the 1,250 was for 11 sessions or 12 sessions at the time, over 4 months.
Yeah.
And then, like Amanda alluded to, I've been working with her for the last year after the 6 months of the mastermind. And I've slowly increased my prices
So I went up to 1650 about 3 months ago. And I just had this thing, this aha moment in January, where I got very clear on who I want to work with, how many people I want to work with. So I just upped my prices to 2,000. And funny story, last week, somebody basically, which for those of you in IN is like a health history, and
don't do health histories, by the way.
With me.
Side point.
Don't do them. They don't work here. This discovery sessions work much better. But anyway, she contacted me. I had a session with her, and she said that she just wanted to sign up with me when she saw my website, my whole package, but she had to do this annoying free call first, which I just thought was hilarious. And she just paid on the spot, no questions asked. And
did you say 2,000 when you lifted
£2,000?
Yeah,
that was last week. So she just was, she was wanted to literally throw money at me, because she was so, I had spoken to exactly what her pain points were, and someone had mentioned about worrying about the value of health coaching and how you get to that point. And truly for me, the biggest breakthroughs have been in health as a coach and owning who I am and my place in the world, and not trying to be a nutritionist, not trying to be a doctor, not trying to be a naturopath. As soon as I stopped trying to do that and just owned being a coach, so you're not a nutritionist, you're not a doctor, you're not so what are you? People were just like, I get it. And then I was able to up my prices. But if I tried charging 2,000 a year ago, no chance.
Yeah, totally. And this is the thing, there's a progression, and a large amount of our training in here is owning who we are as a health coach. So many of us start looking around and going, oh, but I'm not a doctor, and a doctor's done all this training, and so I should charge what a doctor does, or I'm not a therapist, and a therapist does this. That means that right now you don't value health coaching.
Yeah.
The best way to value coaching is to be coached. When you experience in yourself being coached and the deep transformations that happen, you will get that a doctor could never do that, a therapist could never do that. If you want to value coaching, be coached.
Absolutely.
I don't think I can say it another way. You can choose to tell yourself stories, and this is your life. You can choose to put more value. Stephanie, you might even talk to this, you've done social work training, and I see a lot of people, it's like, but I can charge that over here and not over here. That is a belief system. That schooling equals this, that training equals this, that I invested this much. I mean, by the way, people love to say, oh, it's expensive for business training. No, it's not. Look what you pay for your university. Look what you pay for therapist college. Look what you pay for an MBA, $20,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
And then you don't even still know how to get work or a job at the end of it. This, I assure you, and it's a choice that you can all make, is a belief system. And it means that you don't yet value coaching. And that's okay. But if you have the tap and want to, then experience being coached. Because there is nothing in the world, to me, more valuable than what coaching can bloom in us as women, who we're meant to be, stepping into our empowerment, stepping into the woman we truly are. For me personally, maybe not for you, but for me personally, there is nothing more valuable. And I will never be without a coach, and I will never be without a mastermind. When you get this at a cellular level, then you will believe it too. And this doesn't happen overnight, by the way. Like anyone, I'm sharing Amanda's story because she's further on now. It's 18 months. It's 18 months since she started. But in those first months, she started $10,000 in the first 10 weeks, kept growing clients. What she's sharing with us here is the evolution, that as she continued to value herself, almost how miraculous it can feel that other people are now valuing it too, you know, wanting to just buy on the spot, saying, oh, do I have to do that free call with you? Oh, do you have room for my friend? I know you had to say no to the next lady, your friend who wanted to pay the $2,000
exactly.
as well. And yeah, someone says, done, I want it overnight. Yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, Stephanie just shared, you know, it can happen pretty quick. 2, don't get timelines. I was working with my coach on this just yesterday, and he was, let me share this. It's one of my biggest things too, but he reflected it to me differently yesterday. If you're asking, can this work? Or you're saying this can't work, you're out of the game. You might as well leave this call.
Yeah.
If you're asking, how will this work? And we go into a belief system model in the mastermind. If you're asking, how will this work? Your questions, what you're looking for, what you're out there, even those of you who think the financial investment's too much, there's a big difference in those who are like, how am I going to get the money? How could I do this? There's people trying to get into this course with GoFundMe accounts going now, or family and friends. Like, those who want it will look for the how. How is this going to work? By the way, I'm not perfect. My coach was coaching me on this yesterday. And I always share with all of you, you know, what I learn in my coaching sessions ongoing. And he caught me on something where I had the belief that it couldn't be done. And he showed me evidence of where things have happened. Mine was that it would take ages. And he showed me in my life, well, this happened really quickly. And this happened overnight. So why are you not believing? And so anyway, I love catching people's beliefs and I jump on them because, you know, it's a choice. And something that I've noticed in my own coaching lately, gosh, like I was going to do a Facebook Live on this yesterday when I got off my coaching call. It takes guts to be coached. It takes guts and courage to be vulnerable, to not be right. Do you know how much I fight with my coach? I share this with you guys, right? Like I often fight with him because my ego wants to be right. And he said to me, well, you can keep playing that tape, or when you're ready to be coached, you can step to the next level of greatness. And that's what I'll be passing on to all of you. And yeah, anyway, so all the beliefs there, and we'll go into the beliefs. So what else do you want to share? What are some other ones? So, okay, you went part-time, you're making that money, we carry on. Where are you now?
Yeah. So when I finished the mastermind January 2017, I went part-time in my charity job, and I got the confidence in June 2017 to go full-time in coaching. And God, it's been a journey. Like you said, we're not sugarcoating anything. It's been, I think I've always said, like, having a business is like holding up a mirror. You know, it's so revealing and painful and wonderful at the same time. And as you've always taught us, there's good and bad in everything. But what was just so awesome was to create. I truly believe in creating your own reality, and that's really what I did. I can see, I've seen in the chat box some beliefs and things coming up, and
there's lots. I might do some coaching on them soon. I'm enjoying it.
I am too. I'd love to actually just say I had all those beliefs too, and they are just beliefs, you know, and they do keep us stuck. But I'm able to do what I do and charge what I charge and all of that because I 100% believe in the power of coaching. And I've seen, and it's confidence. Like when you coach someone and you see those transformations and you see how amazing they are, you're able to like go, okay, this is really valuable, you know? And so anyway, side note.
Can I just say, and asking all the girls here, do you think you could ever have got that confidence if you didn't get in the game? Like, do you think that it could have been possible until you experienced that? No. Yeah. This is something why I'm so, again, it's another training I do, but why I'm so passionate on pulling us back from creating the website and the perfect logos and everything. There is nothing, and I want to make it really clear that I'm not sitting here saying, hey, charge as much as you can. You know, there's a lady who's joined the mastermind and we've got a model already planned out for her where she's going to have some, one-on-one clients to get started so she can create more of a free community and have the funds to do that. Everybody here wants to help as many people as they can. And I offer the time, energy, and money my team goes into all year and offering free content comes because I also serve, one-on-one clients, and my experience as a coach comes from working with women who are invested in really making changes. I want to make it very, very clear that there is no right and wrong on what you charge. What we're talking about here is self-empowerment, self-belief, and a choice, if you choose to make the money and income in your life. So I just want to really clarify that, because I know that I can get passionate about it, and there's definitely no judgment, and I don't want to jump on anyone's beliefs, but I really want to show what's possible, and also to say this is not overnight. This is now an 18-month progression that Amanda's coming into. So Amanda, how's your life looking now? Because everybody wants different lives, I guess, right? So what is your life like now?
So my definition of freedom is being able to work from anywhere. So I was very clear that I wanted to build an online business because I wanted to be able to work from anywhere. So, and I also, my biggest dream, as you know, was actually, it sounds silly, but I've always wanted to get a dog. And I didn't want to get one while we were working full time. So pretty much 2 weeks after me and my husband both went full time together in our respective businesses, we got a puppy. He's a golden retriever, and he's gorgeous, and he's called Clover. He's now 7 months old. And really it was one of the things was traveling and more like working from where I actually want to work from. So I love the countryside. I live in London. And so just today, actually, we booked to go next week to a cottage for a week, because I love English countryside cottages with fireplaces. That's my definition of freedom, being able to just get up and go whenever we want to. So we just booked that, but to go and work, like not a holiday, just to have a change of scenery. And I can pick up, as long as I've got my laptop, I can coach from anywhere, anywhere in the world. It's amazing, and it's totally possible for anyone, And I got to go to an in-person retreat with you in Miami in, I think it was October last year, which was just awesome. And there's just nothing, I've spoken to quite a few people about the mastermind on Skype and stuff, like wanting to know my experience. And I'm like, there's just nothing different about me to like anyone else. Like, I literally just showed up, and like Stephanie, I really treated it like a job. I was one of those people that showed up to every single call, even if it was 3 a.m, because I was just hungry, and I worked on myself, and I did what you told me to do. So
beautiful. And I think ultimately, I brought some money numbers in because so many of you were asking about them before, and client numbers and all those things. But from a personal perspective, I almost couldn't give a damn what's in your bank accounts. I honestly can't. Like, what I care about is your confidence, is that you are out serving in the world in alignment and in truth with you. And that is the work that needs to be put out into the world, and money will come back when you clear that stuff up in yourself. That's the beauty of it all. So, because ultimately, to go from being, working on call 24/7 with the commute that you had and all of that going on in your life, and the stress that was adding to your body, and, all these things, feeling stuck, knowing that you had this passion in the world, to be able to go part-time and now to be full-time, stepping in, self-expression online in ways that, you choose to, traveling around, able to work from different places. This is not a conversation about how can I escape the world and work on the beach with my laptop. This is a conversation about how can I do real work in the world that's going to make an impact. And you will receive an income as a result. Wonderful. But I don't think anybody here today has anything other than how can I impact as many people as I can. And the beauty of it is the more that you grow and the more that you receive, the more you can, like I said before, create free trainings, get this out to more people, etc. It absolutely works in different countries. We have call times as well for the UK, all time zones, US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. So are there any, honestly, Amanda, there's so many amazing wins that you've done along the way as well. And we could go into so much detail, but I'm well aware I'm 2.5 hours. I've got no idea where that time went, but clearly I could talk about this forever and anyone who's passionate about it could. Any final questions that you have about either from Amanda or Stephanie who are here, or for myself about the program? There's so many comments here that I'm probably not going to be able to find the questions. So if you have any burning ones, you know, I want to go coach into all those money beliefs, but we've been here 2.5 hours and I don't think that today is the place for it. The replay will come to you. It will be available for about 48 hours only. You all know that I respect and encourage action, imperfect action. So this won't be out there forever. We'll get the replay and take notes. Any final questions? Any final questions? We've got 3 minutes till it's 2.5 hours. And I think that is ample. We've kept everyone up. Kim, hey Kim. Yeah, Kim joined us about a year ago, saying it was the best investment she ever made. Kim, that's so wonderful. And you're just making me think, like, it hasn't come up today, but some woman asked me, like, you know, this is for all different age groups. You know, we've got women in the mastermind from 20 up to 60, 70. So, yeah. All the details I shared with the program before, and obviously on the sales page. Anything else, any final tips from Amanda or Stephanie on stepping through the fear to invest and actually say yes? Let's end on that as our final note. We'll take one from Amanda, then we'll take one from Stephanie. Honestly, I'm not sitting here promising anything. You ladies have got a purpose in the world, and you know if you need to step up and do this. I am here for you. My team is here for you, and we have an almost full group of women dying to support you, and you know in yourself, but it can be scary. So we're going to take one final tip from Amanda and one from Stephanie. What would you tell your younger self, remembering what it was like and knowing what it was like on the other side?
The fear never goes away. It's a total myth. We all think that we're going to do it once the fear disappears. It doesn't. You just have to decide that what you want is on the other side of that, and take one step closer. That's all I've ever done. And there's stuff about like Facebook Lives, and I'm scared to do this, and I'm scared to try this. And it's like the only way I ever got through it, actually do it, actually face the fear, because it doesn't go anywhere. And I think it's a myth for anyone to think it does.
Yeah,
so
we all feel that way. And that's
courage.
The thing of being in community. We get to see like, oh, we're all the same. Now we can relax and take the action anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that and for being here today. Stephanie, what's one last tip that you would give your younger self? Oh, we can't hear you. Hold on. No. Try take your headphones out maybe. Otherwise you might have to type it. Do you want to pull your headphones out of the computer and see if you can just talk?
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I always think back to then and how scared I was. And like Amanda said, the fear doesn't ever go away, but it's about putting one foot in front of the other. And so I work with a lot of people, and I always ask, well, what do you want it to look like? 12 weeks, 24 weeks down the road. Okay. And you can try and theorize, but you don't really know. You're never really, truly going to know what it's going to look like. And all you can do is be open to the journey and move forward in each step and each day, and love and appreciate the process, because fear will always hold you back. You just have to in your head that this is something that's trying to protect me, because we naturally want to be protected and survive. And that's been my biggest learning point. And I just want to say one quick thing to someone who said about the
about the what, sorry?
Like that we pay therapists because it's more transformational work. And as someone who's spent a lot of time on that couch on like the other side, I will say for sure that my experience in this work is far more transformational with people, because it's tangible. Therapy is a beautiful thing, and it's wonderful, and it's very necessary, but you don't actually get to follow someone along and see them actually change and grow. And so I've spent 10 years working with people in that way, and I find this so much more impactful and empowering for the people that I work with. And someone actually today sent me this, so I'm going to read this to you because I think it's good. It says, technology. So it says, so I know I'm not in an official program with you anymore, but I really needed to share. You have helped me go through the mid-teens in the 200, so like in the 210 to 215 pound range, down to single digits, and then from there down into the 180s. So far today, I did an 1.5-hour workout, drank 6 glasses of water, and made an egg roll bowl for lunch. Still with a ton of energy to work. Thank you so much for impacting my life in so many ways. So if that doesn't, I mean, I just can't really say that I would, I don't know, to each their own. And I think therapy has its time and its place, and it's for some people, but some people need to step outside their comfort zone, and therapy is a box, and this you get to really customize to what people need. So
yeah, it's such a gift. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know anyone else. I felt the emotion just come through me as you shared that. So thank you, Stephanie, for sharing that. And I think that is actually a beautiful way. Whoever started the conversation before, I'm so grateful. There's no right or wrong. We're not sitting here by any means. I think all professions have their place, and we have our place too. We are worthy too. And if we don't want to do health coaching, that's fine, do something else. But if you do, part of our work will be claiming that worth, understanding that worth, and understanding how we also work as part of the system. One of my great friends is joining us in the next Upswing Mastermind for a training. She is a top naturopath, and she's going to be sharing with us how and why naturopaths need health coaches to improve their work. We're not in competition. The energy of the mastermind is one of collaboration. We're not here to compete with what about them, but we are here to claim our power if this work is for you. And some women, we all know what this is like. Paleo works for someone, vegan works for the other, a doctor works for one, a therapist works for another. Some women need health coaching. Some doctors will tell me, some naturopaths, like I said, my friend will tell me there's things that they can't do, and they need someone who is there on more accountability to help them, understand what to eat. I personally went through a health journey last year with a naturopath, and she wasn't able to support on the daily things that I needed from, and there's a place for all of us. There is no competition in this world. We are here to be collaborative. In my honest opinion, beautiful way to end this, we are one. We all have work to do in the world. We're all part of improving this world. And I feel that we are part of the world in its beautiful waking up phase right now. And if that resonates with you, you're in the right place with a mentor who can absolutely support you on those values and beliefs moving forward. And it's pretty tough, to find people in your tribe who think the same. There's a world full of a lot of different opinions and a lot of different mindsets. And when you find that tribe, stick strong. It's worth everything. So a couple of you are asking, how can you pass on the video? You will get the replay sent to you. Kim, you know where I am if you need the link directly. Anyone can also email support@amandajdaily.com if you would like to share this with a friend. Like I said, that will only be up for another couple of days. The Upswing Mastermind starts 5th of February. If you are meant to be in this program and you don't even know how, but you just know, fill in an application and gift yourself that 45-minute session with my team. I mean, what's the worst case? You get 45 minutes attention on your business, right? If you have family or friends who you think maybe the program is for, now is the opportunity. I will not be here talking to you for 2.5 hours for every week all year, I promise you. I want everyone to know about this right now. It's your opportunity of the year. It's the opportunity to make 2018 the time that you step into your truth. Time for you to rise, time for you to start being of service. I love you all so much. I am so grateful for this community. Whether or not we ever work together, know that I'm here to serve this community. And I hope that if you are ready, that you really know, with my open heart, that I'm here for you and I will teach you everything I know, as will my team. And we would love to take you under our wings in the next 6 months. Get that application in. Let's explore it together. Love you all so, so much. And to my panelists for spending 2.5 hours here today too. Best of luck, everyone. And we'll hang out in Healthy, Wealthy Society after party for any questions today and tomorrow too. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much, especially for those who stayed on right to the end. 2 hours 40, record time. So grateful and honor that all in yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.